This is Python's Paradise. This is your host, Greg Gilbert, aka the Python Hyena. And folks, here we are. I just got done cleaning 3 buildings. I'm exhausted, but not too exhausted. My cat is more exhausted. He doesn't do shit. But nonetheless, here we are, October 25th, 2021. Just a few days from heading to Toronto for Frightmare in the Falls to see C.J. Graham, who's part of a movie I'm a co-producer on. And since I am the co-producer, it might make me his boss, maybe? I should send him to get my tea? Oh, I'll deal with that when I get there. But in the meantime, folks, I got a return guest on here from 13 Fanboy. I'm so happy to have him back because he's a great guy. He did a Doubtfire Face challenge. I'm happy he took that and went for it. He's a huge fan of Troy Elke. He's got a Troy Elke shrine in his house. And folks, I give you one of the producers and one of the actors. Well, sort of the actors. He's playing stiff by one of the actors from 13 Fanboy. Folks, I give you the awesome, absolutely awesome Jason Bradford. How you do, Jason?
I'm good, Greg. Thank you. What a marvelous introduction.
I gotta say, I love some of the videos that you sent to me where, number one, I appreciate it when you ask my opinion on something you do. I consider that a compliment. Like when you sent me these acting reel things that you did, and you know what? I think you're very good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I remember that one. That was my Golden Tooth interview.
Yep.
I believe I sent you the drunken cowboy.
Yeah.
The sad cowboy, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I remember that.
I like that. I enjoyed that. I'm like, yeah, and I wouldn't tell you because it was bad because if unless it was because I love Scotty McCoy, but his movie Sam Hain I wasn't a fan of, and Scotty and I are still friends to this day. I just was honest with him. I can't tell somebody something's good if I don't think it is. So I thought your work in that was awesome. I think that you did a great job in it. You were very convincing, and I feel great that you had reached out and asked for my opinion on that. So yeah.
I'm actually currently actually memorizing a new monologue for a possible future audition called "Killing You." And the monologue is about a killer who's tormenting his victim before dispatching him or her. So maybe when I get that done, I'll send it to you for your feedback. See what you think.
Are you showing them Troy Elke videos?
I have. He may not have been wearing much, because it's part of my private shrine of Troy Elke that I have, and his beard is draped under very deliberate positions. My favorite Troy Elke item that I have is where you push the button and his beard parts and a squirrel jumps out at you.
Mm-hmm.
That's my favorite.
Look at this.
Yes, beautiful.
Look at that. I wore this at Horrorama 2019, and it's too bad Tom Matthews left the scene because he, outside Kane Hodder, he got the most attention on this shirt.
I want to throw credit where credit is due. The graphic designer of that specific poster on that shirt is Vanessa Yonte-Wright. She designed that one.
Oh yeah?
Yes.
Where's her blue hair?
I don't think it's blue anymore. It may be red or pink. Actually, I think it may be blonde and black.
Yeah. Well, I got this. It still had Tom Matthews on it. Of course, it's got Tracy Savage.
Yeah,
so
mine still says Adrian. I have the one that has Adrian King's name on it. Which they say if the movie is made and somebody backs out and their name is on a poster, it's more of a valuable collector's item. So.
Yeah. Well, I got this and I got tote bag.
Yes. I have 3 shirts and I think just 1 hat. But I wear the hat a lot. I let my daughter borrow it for the premiere of 13 Fanboy on Friday, and of course she hasn't given it back to me. So we'll see. I
Well,
may have lost my hat
I
to my
heard your
daughter.
daughter's a big Troy Elke fan.
I don't know if she knows who Troy Elke is. To her, I think that may just be the character that I played.
And I've got this. This is not from 13 Fanboy, but
Nice. That's your Ted White autograph,
my
if I
Ted
remember
White.
correctly. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
He sent me one of these. Yeah. I got one of these from him. That's got his signature on
Nice.
it where he's beating up Mike Merriman.
Nice. Yes.
Yeah. I've actually got 2 or 3 signed items of Ted White here because I just reached out to him recently on his webpage and ordered something. Got a signed picture of him signed Axel up.
Nice.
But yeah, Ted was always my favorite Jason. You know, I wish they would go back to that level of intimidation of Jason because the
I like
intensity.
my favorite Jason is Richard Brooker, and sadly, I'm sure many fans know he passed away a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I would have loved to have had something from him, or to have met him in a convention or something before he passed away. But um, he'll always be my favorite Jason. And I know he used to be a photographer that used to love taking photos of sunsets. So every once in a while, when I see a really beautiful sunset, I actually think of Richard.
Yep. Well, so I got that here, and of course, wonder
Wow,
I
I
don't know
think that
where
looks
I
like something made by somebody brilliant. That looks top notch. That
wonder
looks
who made
fantastic.
this.
I don't know, but they should sell them all over the place. I think Ron Sloan and his wife would look good in the blue version of that.
Yeah,
And Adam Marcus and Deborah Sullivan would look good in that. We should see if maybe
yeah.
the maker of that has gotten around a little bit.
I can't. I'm trying to figure out where did I get that. I know where I got that. Oh, nope, not that box. That's a Ted White box. Oh, yeah, it's up there. Box. Had this in it. Some Bradford guy made this. Don't know. I like this. I thought I would show it off here.
I moved in January, and I haven't, unfortunately, I haven't made anything since.
Yeah. I
But I was
moved.
asked actually by Jason West or Westbound to make him a part 5 mask, so I do have to get that together.
Well, I'm glad I know what his name is. I'm like, come on there tomorrow. I thought he was named after a highway. Westbound. And of course, Nancy
Yes, I have
McLaughlin.
that. I have one of those.
You
I have the
got the
same.
first one.
I think I do. I know she sent me that with her initials. If you turn it around, I believe are on the
Yep.
back.
Yeah, I got number
Actually
2.
designed that.
Yeah, NJM. Yeah.
Yep, I love that. That's actually one of my centerpieces. I have that locked behind a door where it's safe, and it's on display in my collector's cabinet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nancy is absolutely lovely. I talk to
She
her
is.
regularly.
Yes, she is
Actually,
a beautiful soul.
she messaged me last week and she goes, I got to show you something. You'll never go believe what I'm looking at. I was like, what? She says, I'm going to send you a picture for proof. She sent me a picture, I guess only in California because I've never seen this before. She sent me a picture. A guy was walking a turtle down the street by a leash.
On a leash. On a
Yep.
leash.
And she sent that picture to me. I'm like, okay. I talk to Nancy regularly. She's one of these
I
people.
could
Yeah.
just picture all the memes on Facebook with that picture.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
But anyway, 13 Fanboy is finally together. It is finally
It has
it
been such
happened.
a long ride. I know it's been over 3 years. Um, it was conception was like 3 years ago, and here it was Friday. It was finally given birth to. It was a very long pregnancy, if you will.
Well, I've had
But
Debbie
here it is. We
Suvor.
have a
Huh?
bouncing baby fanboy.
Well, 3 years. I think it was. I've had Debbie Suvorhees on here 4 times, and I'm planning to have her on a fifth. And I think it was the third interview she first announced this.
Yeah.
And I would have gotten involved in one way or another. I would have gotten involved, but she mentioned one particular name that twisted my arm into a co-producer. She mentioned Tracy Savage, and I was like, my wallet was saying, no, no, don't dissect, do not dissect the money out of me. And I was like, it's Tracy Savage. I got to. The
You know who
movie.
I would have loved to have had in it, and who knows, maybe in future films. Same installment, part three. My Tracy Savage, and don't get me wrong, I love Tracy Savage. She was so wonderful and beautiful, but Catherine Parks, she's the one that makes me swoon. Who was Vera in part three? She is probably my all-time favorite character in the entire franchise.
Well, I'm in a movie that Catherine Parks is in.
Really.
Yeah, it's called Cool as Hell. Cool as Hell 2,
Nice.
directed by James Balsamo.
Nice. I know you've done quite a few of his films, haven't you?
I have. I've seen 3 of them. They're kind of trauma-like.
Yeah.
The one that I'm most proud of that I've seen is It Wants Blood.
Mhm.
Because I mean, my scenes are just shot on my phone and I send them to him. But what makes It Wants Blood special is that both my scenes are being watched on a screen by Eric Roberts. Oh, look at that gorgeous Tracy Savage.
Oh, you look at that gorgeous. I thought you're talking about that guy.
Oh, look, Tracy Savage.
Yeah.
I still
What a doll.
I still get goosebumps when I see her, even all these
Yes.
years later. I think she's
I saw photos of her at the premiere, and she's got a new hairstyle, and it looks so good on her.
well, as long as she doesn't get a hairstyle like Mike Guttridge, I'll be fine. Shout out to Mike Guttridge, because Mike Guttridge put me in touch with her. He was in the Bone Garden for Mike Guttridge, and I actually thought that was a fan fiction when I first come across it, and I didn't know it was a real film. And I just had Mike Guttridge. I had Mike Guttridge on here 3 times, and I thank him from the bottom of my heart for connecting me with Tracy Savage, and I'm still in touch with Tracy. Not a whole lot. I know I've texted her a couple times this year, but like Valentine's Day, of course,
Of course. Yes.
But
I could just see you with a big heart on for her. Gotta be careful how you say that.
well, she
on.
yeah, well, I was staying in touch with her about the Doubtfire Face challenge, so I wanted to text her details. But I got a lot of the numbers of people that I've interviewed, but as far as keeping in touch, like Lisa Langlois and Nancy McLaughlin, I talk to regularly. Tracy, I've never called,
Yeah.
but of course, I do call Troy Elke.
Oh, we all call Troy Elke.
Yes.
He's our go-to. I did request Tracy Savage on Facebook after we finished filming, but maybe one day.
Well, she's got to add you. Maybe she's angry because you failed to protect her.
Yeah, it's my fault that anything happened to her. They had to go through me to get to her. Now, I don't want to say what happens to her. Obviously, she is in the trailer, so something happens to her, but I don't want to spoil anything. But yeah, I failed her. I'm sorry, Tracy.
Hold that picture up again. Hold that picture up again. I envy you so much. Look at that. Look at that. She is still as gorgeous today as she was when she first shot Friday the 13th, part 3. I'm happy for you, man.
Thank you.
That must have been a great moment. But I'll tell you what I like
It
most.
was. She walked in and I was like, oh, It's Tracy Savage. Please, God, don't let me say something stupid, which I say for Lar Park Lincoln, but you know.
Well, you had a couple of stories on here last time I had you on here that I want to reflect back on because they what made your interview so much fun. You know, this is why I tell people don't ignore people because you're not up front on the poster. You never know. I mean, from John Laper, the whole thing about the Velocipaster butt plug merch, that was worth the interview alone. I'm like, man, I'm like, I could never have got that out of Debbie Sue Voorhees. Although you could mention to her, maybe she might for the ladies, might do a butt plug 13 fanboy. What do you think?
I can tell you right now, it'd probably be a hard pass.
What if Troy Elke bought it?
I think Troy would be better to produce it.
How much you want to bet he'd probably buy it too? He'd say, I got this in the mail.
No, he'd be more like, I got this in the mail.
We love you, Troy. But he told a couple of stories. One, you brought a great big thing of Nutella for Lar Park Lincoln.
Yes.
And as I'm watching 13 Fanboy, I noticed a flaw. Now the fanboy, brings her food down.
Wasn't Nutella.
He says, I brought you cold water and chocolates. So? You bring her Nutella? See, I could see that. See, I would have brought Nutella.
That would have tortured her more.
I would have brought her Nutella.
That would have tortured her even more because it's one thing to know that chocolate is on the other side of that door, but if it had been Nutella, after 3 days of being starved,
this is my theory. I bring Nutella, and she wouldn't ever try to escape.
She hugged me when I gave her that Nutella. That Nutella got me a Lar hug, and let me tell you, Lar can hug.
See, I'd be like, when I was a boy, my dad used to lock me in the basement. All I had, blah, 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 blah. She'd go, tell me more. I have some Nutella. Give me more Nutella. Sneak Nutella in. I'd have the door wide open,
This presentation is brought to you by Nutella.
She's not leaving in Tim Hortons coffee.
And Mountain Dew.
Yeah, or Tim Hortons tea, because I don't have a coffee and I got tea. See, if I was a fanboy, I would have brought her Nutella. Because you see, I could open that door up, and she'd stay. She'd stay.
Let me tell you, I was so afraid of saying anything stupid to any of the celebrities that I knew I was going to meet.
Mm-hmm.
I made it through Deborah. I don't think I said anything too stupid. I did actually just tell Deborah that I was afraid I was going to say something stupid to someone. I thought it would be Corey Feldman or Tracy, but I made it through Corey. I made it through Tracy. Judy came up. I met Judy and Deborah Sullivan and Nigel and William, and I met all these people, and I was perfectly fine. I'm like, cool, I got by this. I didn't make a jackass out of myself. I met Lar. I didn't know Lar was standing behind me, and I'm talking to everyone else. I'm like, yeah. Lar shook my hand. This is Lar on this hand, and I am not washing this hand for the rest of my trip here in New Mexico, and he's standing right behind me. Lar. My jar of stupid opened up and those worms just flew everywhere. That was it. Now she thinks I'm this disgusting guy with dirty hands.
Another one.
I almost made it.
You almost made it.
I got trapped on one. Yes.
And the other thing I remember about our last interview was your planes, trains, and automobiles stories with Jennifer Bonko and her dad.
Oh, she was one of my favorites. I love Jennifer.
I got to relay a story that you had told because I, to this day, laugh thinking about this. You said that her dad had told, or either her or dad told a joke that she played that was played on her. Correct me, I hope I'm getting this right. She got up one morning to use the washroom, and apparently her dad put saran wrap on the toilet.
I believe that is the story. Yeah, she told us that was a long drive from Albuquerque to Ruidoso. So I think we spent like 8 hours together in a car. Of course, we stopped and ate, but I learned a lot. And yes, I believe that was one of the stories
Because as I was
that was
watching her
told.
with Kane Hodder and 13
Now,
Fanboy, I'm like thinking, I just kept picturing her like, oh, I'm drowning.
now I don't want to give too much away, but if you ever do get to interview Jennifer, ask her about, I want to say Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. About that story. I don't want to tell that story. I want to save that for her if you ever get to interview her.
I would love to get her on here.
Yes, I called her Ninja Turtle for probably the first full day or two that we were on set after her story.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But no, Jennifer and her dad's name is Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
And they were two of my favorite people to be around. They were both fun. Bruce was like every definition of a true gentleman that you could possibly think
Well, I
of.
get the feeling that he and his daughter had a wonderful, free-spirited relationship.
They were really great together. Yeah, it was fun to watch them. I didn't have a father growing up, so to watch other people with their fathers and how they interact together is something that I just really like to observe. And her father really were fun to watch together.
Well, I just thought the morning saran wrap on the toilet thing.
Yes. Now
That
that's
was
something my
so.
mother would have done to me. So I do have a little bit of a zany parent. My mother
Yeah,
has a great sense of humor. I got my sickness from her, I think.
I gotta say that was great.
Yeah.
I just picture I'm drowning. Help me!
I would always be pissed off at the mess.
I'm not pissed off. I'm on piss.
I'm not cleaning it. I'm gonna leave my piss all over that floor. Coming here.
Oh man, I loved hearing that story. You know what?
I
I
did talk.
was
I did talk to Jennifer on the phone, and I asked her. I said, "Is it okay if I talk about some of these stories?" She goes, "Oh yeah, yeah, go ahead."
good because
So
I've been talking about some of these stories.
there's certain stories I just wouldn't tell unless the other person I'm talking about was aware of it first. And so
Yeah.
I think a toilet story is one I would probably not tell without prior approval.
Oh, I love that. You know what? I was I'm glad to be part of this movie. I know one of the perks was for me as a co-producer to go down to New Mexico. I just couldn't get away because of work,
Yeah, yeah, right.
but that's okay because like when I think about it, I think about the stories you share, especially the stories you share, and I feel like I've been part of the ride. And um, I don't know what stuff's coming to me in the mail. I have no idea. Um, it's like with anything, something comes to me and I'm like, oh yeah, this was part of the perk. Deborah Sullivan messaged me about a month ago, asked me what size T-shirt I get for Hearts of Darkness. I'm like, oh yeah, I get a T-shirt. Okay.
That was another fun campaign working with Ali Rivera and Adam
Oh
and
jeepers, is
the
Allie
whole,
funny?
the whole skeleton crew is just it's such an honor to help out with that. They're all such amazing people.
Actually, I just had Michelle Renee Allaire on for the second time earlier today from Secret Santa.
Yes.
Yep. Yep. Um, Ali Rivera is coming back on my show. I don't know when, but she just told me that she's getting married. And I said,
I think I saw
I,
that. Did she post that on Facebook? I'm pretty sure I saw that.
I didn't see that on Facebook. She just told me, and I was like, I wasn't aware of this.
Maybe it was
Wasn't
something
in
else.
my
I thought
plan.
something with her recently.
I told her, I said, what can this guy give you? I said, I can give you unlimited cheek pinches. Because that was always what I bugged her with. And I loved it when Adam Marcus would jerk her cheek. Allie is one of these people. It's kind of like that that Doughboy commercial where you poke it in the belly, it goes woohoo.
Yes, I
That
remember
is
that.
Allie Rivera. You know, um, like a lot of people would know
Pillsbury
who.
Doughboy.
Yeah, a lot of people know who Adam Marcus is from Jason Goes to Hell. But when they come on here, how engaging was Ali Rivera to the point where a lot of us just wanted to see them interact, and a lot of it was her spunk and
There was a lot of laughter and smiles between the two of them when they were on there together. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, she was just so engaging. You couldn't help but like her, you
Yeah,
know.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have her back here eventually.
Very good.
Yep. But I'm involved with that and Victim No More and a few James Balsamo films. But 13 Fanboy, I'm extremely proud of. I was not going to see it. I did do two 16-hour shifts this past weekend. So while you guys were enjoying yourselves at the theater, guess what I was doing? I was
I was
cursing
doing
at
after
work.
work. Right.
Yeah.
Long shifts. Oh,
But I got home early Saturday morning and I was going to go to bed. And then I got thinking about something. Halloween Kills come out last week.
yes.
And I went to it, although I had previously read the script because, I just wanted to know if Kyle Richards, Lindsay Wallace lived because, if I said Kyle Richards stunning and didn't want to see her die. But
Right. Me too.
nonetheless, yeah, but nonetheless, I went and saw it because what annoyed me, and I'm not going to point fingers at any YouTubers in general, but people went on there like the following day doing spoiler reviews. I'm sorry, give people a week. I've seen 13 Fanboy, but you don't see me on there giving a spoiler review.
Right. I think that's disrespectful, not just to the audience, but to the filmmakers.
Well, it's just like,
And I think Alfred Hitchcock was the first filmmaker to really hammer the audience, don't spoil the ending.
yep,
I think Psycho was his first movie. He was really big on locking the theater doors once the audience was in. And until they were gone, they wouldn't let the next showing in because they didn't want any interaction between those who knew and those who didn't know that Marion Crane was killed halfway through the movie. That's a leading lady. That never happened. That
yep,
was a huge jaw drop moment. So to spoil huge jaw drop moments, it's not cool. It's really not.
yep. And so, like, there were people, and people will say, well, you don't have to listen. You know what? When I'm at work, working 8-hour shifts or more,
Yeah,
I like listening to podcasts.
exactly. It's not you don't have to listen. It's not you don't have to say what happens. Now, if
And
it
you,
was 20 or 30 years old, that's different. But if the movie's new, it's less than a year old, shut your freaking mouth.
and it's like, and I'm going to tell you why they do it. They do it because hits, views, and likes.
Right, right.
You'll notice I've never told anybody to hit the subscribe button or press like or anything on my channel because I don't think I'm that important. If people want to listen to me, great. I thank you for listening. But I saw 13 Fanboy and you haven't heard me say a word about it outside talking with people on here.
Right.
And I've kept it spoiler free. Um,
Good. Thank you.
I never, I didn't want to stream. I wanted to see it at the theater. I'm
Yeah.
disappointed it didn't play here in Canada.
Yeah,
I
I wish it
also,
had. I
yep,
will I will say it, the sound and the music, Tamer Sire scored 13 Fanboy, and his score in the theater was unbelievable. All the sound was unbelievable. It was beautiful. Really
I got to
beautiful.
point something out there.
Yes,
When I
yes.
was watching it, when it said co-producer and it had my name and two others, the music hit some kind of high note the moment that come on there. I was like, oh, I love that.
There's a scene with and again, no spoilers, but there is a scene with Kane Hodder and Jennifer Banco, and after a specific moment, there's this piece of music that was put in there that doesn't play again through the entire film or before this moment, and it was such a powerful piece of scoring in that moment. And I totally don't mean this as a disrespect. I love Xena Warrior Princess, is one of my favorite shows.
Okay.
And Joseph Loduca scored, I think, every single episode of Xena. And there was this moment between Jennifer and Kane where the Tamer's scoring took me back to Xena with that kind of powerful, strong, just I can't even put my finger on the words to use for that. It was just an amazing moment, and it gave me chills.
Scene between Kane and Jennifer Banco was wonderful, wonderful. You know, and
I'm not gonna lie, I will sit here in front of your viewers and tell you,
yeah,
I cried.
I'll tell you, it was
very
cool. Yeah,
performance. Okay, I like to refer to Kane as the heart of 13 Fanboy because he really brought a lot of heart to the film.
I thought I was the heart of 13 Fanboy.
You're the what?
I thought you said I was the heart of 13 Fanboy.
No.
What was all this?
Kane was the heart of 13 Fanboy.
What was all the stuff you were sucking up to me before we went recorded?
You said you weren't going to mention that, Greg.
They were wonderful.
You promised me when we were talking about those butt plugs that you weren't going to mention that.
Listen, I wasn't going to see it. I've never streamed before, and I've never bought a film off YouTube before. But I thought after work, and believe me, I was tired after work.
Yeah,
but yeah. I was kind of like, with Halloween Kills, I had read the script. I still went and watched the movie and enjoyed it despite the spoilers. But what I didn't want to know who the fanboy was. I didn't want to know any twists or turns in the movie. And I knew full well that every YouTuber out there was going to come out and spoil it.
Did you get to watch it without any spoilers?
Yes, I did.
Good.
Yes, I did.
That's the way it should be. I think every movie should be watched without spoilers, unless you're specifically looking for the information. Like with Halloween Kills, I had to know, did Lindsay Wallace live or die? So I asked a few people before I went in, but I don't think you should know spoilers unless you're looking for them.
Well, I'm disappointed that the original script wasn't done. Because originally how it happened was the reason there was blood all over my photo is because the fanboy took one look at my picture, coughed up blood, and had a heart attack and died.
That was actually filmed, and I remember Nora Hewitt had an air compressor, and she had it pumped up to the highest pressure that there was. And we actually had like 5 or 6 copies of your photo because we had to get the best splatter. And Deborah had them all lined up, ready to go. She would splat the blood on one, move it aside, splat the blood on another, and move it aside. And by the time we were done, we were like, oh, fuck. I'm sorry if I can't say that. Oh, man.
No. You can say it. Go ahead.
Okay, it's fucking Greg Gilbert. Just use the bloodiest one and put it on there. So.
Yeah, but you see, if he had a heart attack, I would have been the hero.
And of course, I'm totally lying. It was actually only 4 photos.
Was there 4 photos of me?
No, we didn't. I wasn't actually there when they filmed that scene, so I obviously don't know. But I know my daughter's photo was actually in there as well too. When the camera first starts panning, when it first cuts to that, the very first photo on the right hand of the screen, and you only see it for a split second because she's the first to go off, but she's laying in a car upside down with her feet up and with an American flag, and that's my daughter.
Hey,
child. Yeah, so she's in the same shot as you.
Well, see, I could have been the hero. Of course, the movie would have ended sooner, but Tracy Savage would have been completely happy. She wouldn't have been stopped. I could have been the hero. but they did
David
no,
David
nope.
Miller and I actually made a video. Just fooling around. We met again after we finished filming in Georgia, and we made this little impromptu video where we ad-libbed where Dave was Mr. Savage and I was Troy, the security guard. And this video that took place before 13 Fanboy, where we ran into each other, and David was like, "Hey, hon, look who I ran into. It's Troy from work." And then I got on there like, "Hey, Tracy, I'll see you Monday." And we talked about the Fanboy, and we both promised her that we wouldn't let anything happen to her, that he would protect her at home and I would protect her at work. And it was just a fun little impromptu thing that we did. But I don't think it exists outside of mine and David's messenger where we saved it, shared it with each other. Well, it was fun.
Fine job you guys did protect it. I only got splattered in blood. I was too mighty for the Fanboy.
I will tell you though, there is truth to Nora Hewitt's air compressor being pumped up. It hit the ceiling. It was magic. It was one of those magic moments. It wasn't in David's scene. It was in Christopher's scene.
We'll get to that.
That hit the ceiling. We were in a college, and the hallways were high as it was because there were college highways. They're pretty high up.
Mm-hmm.
That compressor, it painted the ceilings. I don't know who got stuck with the daunting task of cleaning that blood, but it was great movie magic, and that was the scene. That was the cut that made the movie. So it was a very bloody mess. And I actually heard one of the people who watched 13 Fanboy refer to Chris's death as glorious.
His death.
If you filmed, I'm like, that's going to be your iconic kill scene right there.
Yep. So I sat down. I'd never ordered something on YouTube before, but I'm like, if people are going to spoil this, then I want to be able to see what I put my money into, And like I said, I haven't done a spoiler review. I haven't even done a review of it. I haven't gone and talked about it. Will I? Yeah, probably, but I want to wait. And I don't care if people don't want to look at my video because, he's talking about it 25 days after. I don't care. I told my supervisor, well, I'm at work. Can you at least watch the movie I part of, but I'm not up for spoilers on something the following day. Hold your fucking horses, people.
Thank you. Yes, absolutely.
Yep. But I watched it, and I gotta say, bravo, Debbie Sue Voorhees. Mood, atmosphere, as Dave McCrae would say. She had it.
Yes.
That opening kind of reminded me of the opening of Scream in a lot of ways.
I've heard a lot of fans of the franchise who had watched 13 Fanboy recently compare it to Wes Craven's New Nightmare and Scream. So those are two. I would personally take them as two huge compliments.
Well, as long as they're not comparing it to The Room or a Neil Breen movie, you're good.
Got me on that one.
I could see the Neil Breen in this. If you've seen the Neil Breen movie, you'll know this. I can't believe you committed suicide. You committed suicide. I can't believe you committed suicide.
Oh no, not the suicide.
No. I can't help you now.
Quit laying there with your wrist bleeding all over my carpet. Get up, get them up, and clean your mess.
If you know that scene with Neil Breen, you could have. I'm trying to talk Debbie Sue into having Tommy Wiseau in the next one. I think he should be Fanboy Part 2. You can just think it when if he's a victim, he could say, "You're tearing me apart, Fanboy."
You said, did you say Fat Boy or fart? You said
Fanboy.
Fanboy. Yes, I thought you said you're tearing me apart, Fat Boy. I'm like, big mask reveal.
You're tearing me apart, Fanboy. Every scene. Oh, hi, Mark. In a scene with Debbie Sue Voorhees. Oh,
Yeah.
hi, Mark. I actually mentioned this to Joel Paul Rising, and he said that he said this is one of those problems on set that he'd probably leave for Debbie Sue to deal with.
He had an interesting problem on set. Um, he probably should. I don't want to say he should look where he walks because nobody really looks where they walk.
Yeah, I
But
know this
he got
story.
nailed. He got
He got
nailed.
nailed,
He got nailed. Yes.
and that's not the punchline.
No. What's the punchline?
He told me that when he stepped on that nail, he said he wasn't going to name any names, but he said one of the females on set said to him,
Take your shoe off.
"Take your
Or,
shoe off." It's like, are you kidding me?
I'd have just been like, you're fired.
You want me to tell you something? I should have shot that scene because even with her saying,
He at least should have pulled out his cell phone and took a picture of that. I would have totally. That would have been like on the side of 13 fanboy, and I got nailed, and there would be a picture with that. That would have been. Can you
I would
imagine?
I would have said, "Hey, leave that in your foot. Leave that
Oh,
in your foot. We're getting the camera right now. We're getting the camera right now." Nora, you don't have to use any blood. We got the whole thing here.
there was also and I'm hoping I'm going to tell you another story I haven't mentioned, and I'm hoping I don't get in trouble for telling this story.
Mm-hmm.
But we were filming a scene, and there was an incident with somebody showing up and causing problem physically, a physical altercation, and it got a little out of hand. We had to leave that scene and scout quickly for a new scene to finish, a new location to finish the scene. Cops were called. It was a fiasco. It was just a quick pack up and leave kind of thing. But they found a place, and it turned out fine. Um, that was a very interesting night on set. Now it wasn't cast or crew that was causing the problem. It was totally somebody outside the cast and crew. Just
Why?
I guess didn't like what was going on, and just got really loud, and it was we just we weren't able to film under those conditions, so we had to leave and find a new spot.
I would have
And I
walked
almost lost
over.
I almost lost my prop. I have a prop that Nora gave me,
Uh-huh.
and she hadn't given it to me at that point yet, and everything got thrown into the cars and the vans and everything like that in a hurry. So a couple of days later, I'm like, Nora, do you still have that prop you told me I could have? She was like, yeah, but I have to find it. So I thought, oh man, I'm never gonna get it. But I got it. I'll show you what it is in a few minutes. But that was quite an experience. It really was. It just shows you how real being on these locations are and what kind of risks can happen to these filmmakers when they're on a location. I mean, we filmed on a set as well. We had a stage that we dressed, and you would never guess that it was a stage. The convention was actually filmed, and I feel like I'm squirrel. I feel like I'm jumping all around here, but the convention scene was filmed in two different places. Half of the convention was filmed in July. The following was filmed in January, and it was Riley and Deborah spliced it together beautifully. But anyway, um, squirrel for real. Where the fuck was I going with this?
I think you were thinking about Troy Elke.
I must have been. But anyway, the con scene with Feldman was filmed on actually a stage, a very small stage. And then the January con scene, which I unfortunately didn't get to go to, but I did see pictures and I know a little bit about the filming, was filmed in a real big building. So, but it looks phenomenal. You can never guess they were filmed 6 months apart when you watch it.
I have a story behind that.
Mhm.
Did you know that Sean Clark was supposed to be in the convention scene?
I did not.
Sean Clark, of course, who's one of the people that books Debbie Sue for cons and stuff. I had Sean on here back in January. I first heard of him when I first interviewed Ted White in 2016, but I never really got to know who he was until later. And finally, I had him on with his podcast, thing with two heads he does with Christopher Nelson. And He told me that he was supposed to be in 13 Fanboy. He was supposed to show up in do cosplay and take the headpiece off for the convention scene. But
Oh,
he said,
you know what happened? Sean had an accident, and I actually have him here as to why he didn't make the film. I have this is all that's left of him.
"Oh, gee, even
Yeah.
his pointy hair's not there."
Now this is actually another prop that was on set at the convention scene, but I don't know if it made the cut. If you watch the convention scene with Corey Feldman, this might be in a corner somewhere as just like a horror prop for the convention. I don't know if it made the cut, but if it did, this is
I,
that's my
I know
Melissa.
what Troy Elke would do with that.
Yeah.
But, well, Sean said he was supposed to, but I think he was at a convention or something, because he's got so many clients. I kept having this vision of Sean Clark showing up in a Barney outfit and you love me, I love you. Hey, it's Sean Clark. I'm sure he'd love me saying that. But that is what I did know. It was nice to see that brief moment between Ron Sloan and Carol Locatel where she calls him an
Yeah,
asswipe.
I was so upset that I didn't get to go back in January, but I was more upset when they filmed the convention scene because I'm sure you know all the associates and co-producers were called to set, given the opportunity to be in that scene. And I was upset that I couldn't go back in January at all. Deb had asked me if I wanted to be a production coordinator for the second leg of filming, and I couldn't get the time off work, so I was really bummed out about that. But then the day of the convention came, and I knew Ron and Carol were there, and I didn't get to meet either of them. At that point, I've met them since, and they're both beautiful people. But I was literally in a deep funk at work all day that day, and I probably had 3 or 4 people say, "Jason, what's wrong? You're not acting yourself." I'm like, "I'm missing a convention. I should be in New York right now. Ron and Carol are at a convention, and I don't get to meet them." And I also knew that like Christy Fontenot and Lisa Prez and all these amazing people that I just wanted to meet were going to be there, and I didn't get to meet them. I met Lisa in July, but I didn't get to meet Christy and all the other horror fans that have become family in this circle of this 13 fanboy circle that I would have loved to have met. I didn't get to meet them either, so I was sad that day, the day that they were filming that.
I saw Christy in the film. I thought, yeah, I seen her.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I decided to watch the movie, and like I said, I'd never streamed anything before, but I figured, people are gonna get on there yeah, people have been online doing spoilers, of course.
Yeah.
But since I'm not in a big rush my life is not all about likes and views and stuff. It's nice to have them, but it's also nice to be respectful because not everybody can get to something on the first friggin' week.
Right.
But
Right.
I can't get into that. But nonetheless, I watched it, and like I said, the film looks great. The music was great. I was a little sad. I remember when I was at Horrorama 2019, the band out of Toronto, Blood Opera, and Sean Clark liked the song too, because he heard it. Blood Opera did a song called Fanboy, and they asked if I'd help them get it to Debbie Sue for 13 Fanboy. And I guess it didn't make the cut, and it was a great song. I'm going to be seeing them at Frightmare.
Yeah.
Yep. And I've stayed in touch with them every year since 2017. But
Did they
nonetheless,
they posted this song on YouTube where people can hear it?
oh yeah,
Yeah, maybe put the link on this interview so people can go hear it.
they one of the members of the band sent the CD or something to Sean Clark on Thing with Two Heads podcast, and when I was just at work vacuuming a floor, and I heard them talking about it, and I took my phone down, looked at it, and so I called the lead singer because I had his number. And I said, "You'll never believe what I'm hearing right now." And I told him, it's like, yeah, one of I think their bass player or guitar player sent that. And I was like, "That's cool." Sean Clark said he liked it. And they've done a lot of cover songs from horror movies. I've seen them perform live. I've seen them perform Fanboy. He's back, the man behind the mask. They've done that. Um, and they told the story of when they met George A. Romero. And this was before they started Blood Opera, and they had mentioned what they wanted to do for their band, but they wanted to do something that's horror themed and music from horror films. And they thought George A. Romero was just going to shoot it down. And he said, no, George A. Romero said, no, you got to do this. You got to do this, you know?
Right.
And George A. Romero just gave them the blessing on it, said, yeah, do this, you know? And they put on a good concert because before I saw Jason Lives at the Drunken Cinema, there's a reason they call it that. I don't drink, but there is a reason they call it that. I saw them perform and they did a great job. I took some pictures of them. They wear these odd looking monster costumes when they do it. But great guys. But yeah, I'll have to send you a link to Fanboy because that was a great song.
Yeah,
And
that
I wish I had made the cut, but nonetheless, the music choices that were made, like that song 13,
perfect. Yeah,
perfect.
perfect. Yeah.
I mean, it would have been better if it was sung by Troy Elke, but nonetheless.
Everything is better with Troy Elk. He's like the Keebler elf of the world.
And I heard Tom McLaughlin's Sloth song being played while Haley Greenbauer was driving down the street. Haunted, the song Haunted. And of course, Victim by Ari Lehman's First Jason, which I got to bring up here. Christopher Norris doing that little dance. I'm glad he has so much fun doing janitorial work because I can't work myself up to have that much fun during a 16-hour fucking shift. He was having fun. You know what me tell you? What should have happened? You see, did you ever see Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse?
I have not.
You have not seen Scout's
I
Guide.
hate to admit I haven't heard of that one.
You have not heard of Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse.
Well, I did about 10 seconds ago the first time you mentioned it, but now before that I haven't.
It is an actual movie. But the opening scene happens at this facility that's got corpses laying on slabs and stuff. And they got this janitor in there and he's doing this weird dance and whatnot. And obviously he's putting more into that than he is doing his stuff. But he goes in to clean into this facility and there's like corpses laying on the slabs. And he accidentally hits something where something goes off and he thinks he did something wrong. And there's like a zombie on the slab and he's like, he thinks he did something worse though. He's like, thinks somebody's dying on the table and he's like trying to help them out. And he's like, of course, this is going to end up being a zombie. So he's like, got his mouth open. He's going like this. And he's like, he pulls some Tic Tacs out of his pockets and put them into the mouth. Anyway, I mean, well, there's the security guards, of course, getting something out of the vendor machine. All you can see behind him is the janitor being run around in the background.
Nice.
There's a zombie deer in this fucking thing, if you can believe that.
Well, there's a zombie deer in Evil Dead too, so.
There you go.
Well, it's not really a zombie, it's more of a possessed dead deer than a zombie deer, but.
Well, here's the thing. I thought about Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse as I was watching Christopher Norris do his little dance, and I was like, you know.
I got to stick up for Christopher here. I got to tell you, when we filmed that, Christopher had no music. It was quiet on the set and there was no music. So he whatever song was in his mind was literally only in his mind, and that's all he had to go by. I remember Deborah saying, "All right, dance while you walk," and so that's pretty much where that movement was born from.
He could have come out there where you were laying there, and he could have tilted your head back. He could have got some Tic Tacs out, Could drop some Tic Tacs in.
I would actually have preferred it to be just Christopher in that hallway sliding out with the socks and his oversized shirt on, just doing whole Tom Cruise, the whole Tom Cruise the the
Risky business.
risky business. Yes, thank you. That scene would have been great, but with the mop, that would have been a great outtake to put in there.
That was one of my favorite scenes
Yes,
because it you got
I don't think Norris would have had a problem being in his whitey tighties to do it something like that either. Something tells me that he's probably not a shy guy.
I've had Christopher Norris on here twice, and I got to say
Yeah.
this:
Yes.
he doubled for Harrison Ford in Indiana
Nice.
Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and I got to say this kind of makes him a badass to me.
Yeah.
I look at him so much differently, but there's some tension in the previous scene. And then you cut to Christopher Norris in the hall, music going, and there he's going. But this was one of my favorite scenes in the movie because I'm seeing Christopher Norris just being friggin' funny.
It's
And
my
then
favorite kill of the movie. I thought it was
it's my
the guy who
favorite
played
kill.
Glorious was spot on. It was a glorious scene. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And as he's got those keys and unlocking a door, it's like, thanks, Christopher.
Let me tell you, Deborah wanted my hair cut really short for a security guard, and I had just started growing it like a year before. I was taking all kinds of pills. I was doing everything to grow it. I really wanted long hair. And she go and I said, well, Deborah, I've been trying to grow my hair. And she was like, she was dead set on me having me like short, shaved up the back, crop hair. And I said, how about if I wear a hat? She's like, yeah, you can do that. We can wear a hat. So I took some pictures with different hats, and she's like, this hat works, this hat doesn't. So I ended up wearing a certain hat. And at one point, she offered me the janitor role. She goes, well, if you don't want to cut your hair, do you want to be the janitor? I'm like, I've already got the Troy Oki vibe going on there. So I stay with the security guard and the hat. And then when we had to film the death scene, Nora's like, you got to take the hat off. And all I could think was, oh, Deborah's going to be pissed because my hair's not short and I don't have a hat on. But again, I don't want to spoil anything, but with the way my character is just dispatched, I couldn't wear a hat when they did so the hat came off. I was told the night before, and this was my original death, though, it was gonna be a court death with the knife here, and it was gonna be mixed between Bonnie the hitchhiker. Bonnie Hellman played the hitchhiker. I called the hitchhiker Bonnie because she doesn't have a character name, but I actually have pictures behind the scene where I've got the knife and I've got this banana squished in my hand and a piece of banana coming out because I was like eating this banana when I got killed and I spit banana. It was supposed to be like an homage to the hitchhiker in part 4. Didn't happen, didn't make the cut, but I do have some behind the scenes photos with the squished banana with some banana coming out of my mouth. That was pretty fun. Nora told me the night before, yeah, you're gonna have a banana in your hand, you're gonna squish a banana. I'm like, Bunny the hitchhiker, yes!
Well, I do love the shot of Christopher Norris on the floor. And it's like, yeah, that was a pretty cool death.
He really looked dead in that picture. He didn't. I mean, there was like no flutter in his eyes. It looked like a wax bust of him. He looked so. You know how like when a corpse is laying in the coffin, they nailed that. And I don't know if it was him or the lighting or a little bit of everything, but it did. It looks super creepy.
I gotta ask. Is there going to be extended cut on Blu-ray? And the reason why I ask this,
I would ask Deborah that. I don't know.
Because I mean, I'd like to know what happened between Tracy Savage and Lara Park Lincoln. Like what happened between their frantic calls for help and them being captured. Was there anything in between there? Them transporting the bodies? What happened?
I know there's 3 things. Joel mentioned during the opening night during Q&A. He mentioned that the first cut of the movie was almost 3 hours long. That's a long meaty.
Well, look. Oh, come on. Look, if we can watch 3 hours of something as boring as Titanic, and when I watched Titanic, I was like, everybody else was ripping the Kleenex out. Oh. So sad. I was like, oh, would you? My cousin
refused to see Titanic because he knew how it ended.
I was like, hey, you people keep it down. I'm trying to sleep. This movie's so fucking boring. I saw Tomorrow Never Dies on double billing with it. Tomorrow Never Dies. I was like, oh, nice. Oh, nice. This is so much better than
Now,
Titanic.
maybe Deborah will put out. I think would be awesome to put out a director's cut with extended scenes, or
Well, I
something
think
like
she
that.
should. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to hear this. 3 hours is too long. Titanic was too fucking long. It was
Well,
too fucking boring.
I know Joel said that on a future release date they were going to release. I don't know if it's DVD, Blu-ray, excuse me, or how they're gonna what platform, but there is supposed to be a version released with footage, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be deleted scenes or extended scenes. It's probably not going to be tied into the movie again. That's
Oh,
more of a
come
Deborah
on,
question.
please.
But it would be awesome to see like a director's cut, even if it was further down the road, maybe. But that would be. I will say there was a scene with Tracy film that I didn't see in the movie that, and I don't want to give anything away because people who haven't seen the movie, I don't want to give any clues. But there was a scene. It was kind of a stunt, and I remember when they did it, it took my breath away. It looked so good, and I remember thinking, oh my god, I almost cried out when they're filming. And you gotta be super quiet when you're on the set and they're filming because you get yelled at by the director if you make noises. You know, you don't want to even hiccup. So, but there was a scene that they filmed. I'm like, oh my god, and I want to yell out, are you okay? I think I probably told you that story before, but
Yeah, you did.
it was a really beautifully shot scene, and it had me on the edge of my seat just watching it. And I watched Vincent DeSani choreograph this stunt with Tracy before they even filmed it, so I knew it was going to happen. But then when they actually filmed it, I was like, it was a breathtaking moment.
Yeah. Well, Tracy's always breathtaking.
Of course, she's Tracy
Listen,
Savage, savagely beautiful.
yes, I want to see the Greg Gilbert picture cut of the movie. No, I got to admit it was fun seeing my picture in that scene. And
Yeah,
Christy Fontenot sent me a still shot. I was at work when it happened, but I
yeah,
got my phone dinged and I got a still shot of my photo covered in blood in that scene. And I was like, thank you, Christy, for sending me that. And then
yeah.
Troy Elke chimes in and said, you're front and center of your photo.
Yeah, he posted a picture of my death scene because I had my name badge on with his name on it. I actually mailed him that a few days ago.
Mm-hmm.
That badge from the movie. I mailed it to him. I hope he got it by now. I mailed it. I want to say Wednesday or Thursday, and now it's Monday. So if he hasn't gotten it, he should pretty soon.
Did
But
you
I
get
ordered. I did order myself another one because
did you
I
get pigeons to take it to him?
carrier pigeons. I actually found two of them that were actually extinct, and they're specifically for Troy Elke's mail delivery. So
There you go.
they're actually in New York on an old building ledge. Only two left in the world.
There you go.
Right next to a gargoyle that is sentenced to be there because someone didn't keep a secret
There you go.
about the identity of the gargoyle.
Well, I watched the movie and there was a lot of stuff in it. I was surprised by a lot. Number one, big, I'm hoping that my brother and his wife will watch it, but they don't have a whole lot of faith in me after watching the James Balsamo movies I was in. I'm, I'm like, they'll hold that against me. And but nonetheless, I was quite impressed. I hope Debbie Sue, if she does a sequel, don't call it 14 Fanboy, call it Fanboy 2.
What about 31 Fanboy? Maybe it'll be the Halloween cast being stopped.
Well, I was thinking, they should bring in Danielle Harris. She'd be a good
Oh,
one.
I would love to see her
I
in
was
the.
bring in
I
the
would
Trailer
there.
Park Boys.
Yeah,
Bring in the Trailer Park Boys. Bring in Tommy Wiseau, Neil Breen.
I'm not familiar with these names. Sorry.
Oh, you know who
I would be like,
Tommy.
yes, that's so cool. Bring them, bring them. I don't know.
You know who Tommy Wiseau is.
I
You know
feel
who
so
what
left
you
out
know
right
what the
now.
room is.
The Room.
Yeah.
Is that a new? Is that one of the new movies? I know you'd mentioned it earlier.
Holy fuck! The Disaster Artist by James Franco was about the making of that movie. He played Tommy Wiseau. Oh my goodness! Are you that's Joel Paul Rising knew what it was.
Yeah.
I
Well,
said
he's
to
a
him, I said,
producer. He's got lots of ties and connections. He knows this shit.
yeah, but
I'm horror. I do more horror and more than anything. So if it's not
okay,
horror,
okay. How about you had Dee Wallace in this one?
of course I know that.
How about Fanboy 2? They bring in how about Medea?
Maybe. I can't see a fanboy killing Medea. I think she would definitely give a fanboy a run for his money.
I think so too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh man. But there's other things in this movie that friggin' grabbed my attention. In terms of performances, the performances were really good. One really stood out to me, and that was Ron Sloan. I'm so used to seeing him as Junior.
Yes.
How terrific he was in this movie.
Yes, yes. He's I think he shined in this. There's a few people who shined in this. I said that Kane Hodder was a heart, and
Yep.
I think Ron Sloan gave a lot of soul to the film. He gave it he shined. He was fantastic. You know, everyone's so used to seeing him as Junior Hubbard. They don't realize that he's an actor. He's got these
Oh boy,
versatile
he was
abilities.
great in this.
He was great in this. My favorite scene with him in this was with him and Dee. I think it's in the trailer, and I don't want to say what led up to it, but there's a scene where he was uh, yelling at Dee,
Mm-hmm.
and I think you might know the scene that I'm talking about.
Yep, I do.
I thought, oh my God, he was, yeah, his performance was fantastic.
However, if Dee wanted her gold earrings found, all she had to do was dip them in Ethel's stew, and Junior Ron could have found those no problem.
Well, that's because that's the best goddamn stew in the
In
whole
the
wide
whole
world.
world, by the
Yes.
way.
You know what I would have loved as an outtake, and I know this was not going to happen. I was watching Fanboy, and there was a scene where I would have loved Dee to have called Ron a big dildo, just as a joke. Did you see at the end of the credits that little gem that Deborah left for you? To everyone who has seen Fanboy or hasn't seen Fanboy, if you haven't watched the end of the credits, go back and rewatch it. I don't want
Oh,
to say
I
what
watched it.
so you know what we're talking about. But something like that would have been great with
I
Dee.
wish I had been on the receiving end of what somebody got in that end credit.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a great that was I was there for that. That was probably one of the funniest moments ever on the set of 13 Fanboy. That just shows what kind of outrageous sense of humor Tracy has.
I never, that's why I hope she does a doubt for a challenge. I didn't think of bringing this out, and I don't know where it is. It's packed away in there somewhere. Ron Sloan is such a nice guy. He sent me um, the uh, the soup label. Bob
Yes,
Stu, you made
I
those.
did. Yes. It's funny. Ron was going to contact me the following day that I had posted a picture of the soup label that I had made to
Uh-huh.
ask me if I would design him a soup label for the conventions.
Mm-hmm.
And the day he was thinking about asking me, it was a day that I had designed it and I had posted it. So it was almost like I'm definitely not going to say telepathic or telepathy or anything like that. It's just kismet, I guess is a good word to use. That I just designed this while Ron was thinking about it.
Well, I
And
know you're connected with Junior.
yeah, he's one of my favorite characters of the franchise. Seriously, Vera Sanchez, Mon Junior Hubbard, and then you got Joey B from Jason Goes to Hell, and then you got KM from Jason X. These are like some of my all-time favorite
My
characters.
favorite is Debbie.
I know.
I
I,
love Debbie.
I
And I
know.
love
You're a little fanboy for Debbie.
I could do the romantic version. I could be the 13 lover boy.
There you go. Wah wah, chicken wah wah.
I could be like Pepe Le Pew.
And the tagline would be "You big dildo."
I was gonna say I got that here somewhere because Ron sent me one, and I did a video unveiling
A
of it
big
too.
dildo.
No, the soup label.
Oh yes.
That was the other thing. I think
Your
I've sent to
context was a
Troy.
little questionable. I
No,
have.
but
Hang on, I got one right here. Let me go back.
yeah, show that thing on here because that was number one. It's your work, man. You are amazing. For all those folks watching this,
Yeah,
Jason
this is
Bradford made this COVID mask. This is from Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Jason made this. This is his handiwork. And
and
if
it,
you
you can
want
see,
one, you can get one from him.
I haven't made them in a very long time, but I as you can see my soup label, I got Carol Locatel and Ron both to sign it
He sent me
when I
one
met
that was
them.
signed by both too.
Yeah, isn't that
Yeah.
awesome?
Now read it,
Here's something.
please.
Read it. Well,
Yes,
here's
please.
something that I told Ron. I don't know if too many people who have this label recognize this, but if you look, the UPC code here, if you look, it says Friday the 13th, part 5 in the
Yep.
year it was released.
Yep.
But anyway, I won't read it because my light is bad. I'm not wearing my glasses, but I'll hold it up for just a moment. I'm
What
sure.
the fuck?
All right,
Oh,
whether you're, I could probably read it on the screen here. Just it's kind of dark in my room, but uh, whether you're a pervert screwing your brains out on her property, little hats off to Tina and Eddie, cleaning the shit out of her chicken coop, or just a big dildo, you're going to want to shut the fuck up and eat her fucking stew. You know you can't pass up on it, you fuck wad. So, and here it is the best goddamn stew in the whole wide world.
look at that.
Of course, I had to add chicken heads on there because she likes to get crazy with her meat cleaver. But yeah, so I designed that, and Ron saw it. And he's like, I was just gonna ask you to do that for me. So that was like perfect timing.
That was so great. You did this. Like you've got an immense amount of talent, man.
I was actually, if you look at the credits of Fanboy, I was a graphic designer, and I had so much fun doing it.
Yeah,
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 I love
absolutely.
doing photo manipulation. It's so fun.
But how many times during the shooting of this film did you guys have to drag Debbie Sue off the Hubbard lawn?
Just once,
Yeah.
um, just once. It was actually not her. Her and her husband, Rich, who was on set. He was a great guy too to be around. It was her dogs. They're just trying to get off into the yard and have sex, and she wouldn't let them. And then, of course, a couple months later, but no, that didn't really happen. It did happen, but not on the set of Fanboy.
No, there's so many, and I don't want to get too specific on kills in this movie because I don't want to spoil anything for people. But I know there was an opening scene kill, and I'm not talking about the major one. I'm talking about a certain one, the very first one in the movie that was nice and surprising, and I love that.
Yes, and I don't think to talk about that as a spoiler alert. That's literally in the synopsis of the movie. Like if you were to go to like Voodoo and read the synopsis, it literally says
No,
on there
no,
that
no, no,
happened.
no. You're talking about the main actress in that opening
Yeah,
scene. I'm
yeah.
talking about the first kill.
I'm trying to. Oh yes,
Yeah,
yes. And now
yeah.
her character's name is Courtney Sue Hartley Bradford, and that is my daughter. So her
There you
character was
go.
named after my daughter.
I gotta
Yeah, that's
say, I love that kill. It was nice
Spring.
and sudden.
Spring Let's played that.
What's her name?
Spring.
I should get her on here. I like
Yeah,
that little bit part with her,
yeah, yeah,
but it was nice and surprising. And it just goes to show that it's not just the stars that are in trouble here.
yeah.
Others could be too, which
Yeah,
is
you
why
get in the way of the star and you're cooked.
I only got splattered in blood. I wasn't in the way. He didn't look too long because he would not have lived if he gazed at this too long. But no, and so many other things about this Dee Wallace. I've had her on the show, and I'm booking her again. I just heard from her assistant, so I'm going to have her
Oh,
on again.
great.
I met her at Horrorama 2018.
Tell her, and she probably doesn't know who I am. I didn't get to work with her, but tell her I said hello.
I will.
Oh,
When I met her at Horrorama, it was a first for me, and I wish more people would do this because I hate carrying cash on me. She
yeah,
had a debit machine at her table. I'd never seen that before. I wish more
yeah,
would do that
yeah.
because I don't like carrying cash with me.
It's like this little machine that you just swipe a card through, and it takes it off. Yeah, I've seen. I think I paid with a few things on that when I went to the convention. Those are cool. Those are neat.
Yeah, I love that, you know.
Yeah.
But you paid for what? Did you have one of your own, or did they have them?
No, they had them. They had them there. It's kind of like hooked to. Oh, I can't remember. Was it hooked to their cell phone or something? And you would just swipe your card, and it would take it off and put it right into their funds, and then you'd be emailed or texted receipt.
Oh, perfect. I hope more do that because I
It's
hate.
very convenient. Well, for
Yeah.
them, it cost me $40 because I like to binge buy or impulse buy. Like I really didn't need that light up Jason Voorhees mask hanging over there with the neon lights, but it was so cool. And then they had that little swiper thing, so that little swiper thing cost me $40. But I got a really cool light up neon Jason Voorhees mask hanging on my wall in my collection. So
There you go. Why don't you have a light up Troy Elke mask?
I do, I do. I keep it by the butt plug collection.
You know what? I told Tracy Savage a story too, because Debbie Sue Voorhees mentioned this on a. I think she mentioned it in an interview with me, and mentioned that there's going to be props from the movies that they rally off, and
Yes.
I heard one of the things was supposed to be Tracy Savage's outfit,
Yes, I
and
heard that, and I also heard the blue bikini that you can see in the movie and the trailer is supposed to be one of the items.
I said to Tracy Savage, I said I was very tempted. Of course, she's flattered by this, but I said I'm very tempted to make an offer. But if something happens that I like die or something, and people discover that here, like they're gonna be thinking, what's this Norman fucking Bates live in this apartment or something like this? I'm like, I'm not sure how I can explain
So
this, you know?
what you do is you buy the prop, you get a
Yeah.
little ticket card on there, maybe even that says Voorhees Films on it. It can say Tracy Savage dress used on screen 13 fanboy. And then when they find it, as long as it's not like stretched out because you wear it, people are gonna think it's it's a movie prop.
Could you imagine I
So
get
now,
on here
so now
get
you
on
can buy
here?
it. As long as there's no chest hairs found on the inside, I think you'll be cleared as just a collector.
Could you
If there
imagine
is
if
chest hairs found inside, I'm gonna be really disappointed that I didn't get to see a picture of you wearing this little blue dress.
oh that would happen during a Zoom interview with Tracy?
Yeah.
Actually, Tracy said she was all cool with me buying it, but I'm like, what would my parents think? My cat looks at me funny enough as it is. You
Well,
know?
speaking of props, I do have a few props that were used on scene. Some of them were actually key scenes. I don't know if
Show them.
you want to see them. I'll start.
Yeah.
Well, okay. First, this one, it wasn't actually in the movie. I kept this because Jennifer Banco bought it for me at a gas station, and it was she went in and came out with a bottle of water for everyone. And now this is probably a little fanboy to some people thinking though, why do you keep a bottle of water? But Banco bought me this. I could never open it. I saved it as part of my collection because how many alum from the franchise have bought something for their fans? So I had to keep Banco's water bottle that she bought me. Never been open. It's probably expired by now, but so anyway, there's that. And then I have the my security guard badge.
Oh yeah, that did you a lot of good, didn't it?
That's didn't do me good at all. But the costume, of course, is it's hanging up.
You see, if you were Sheriff Buford T. Justice from Texas, you would have had that 13 fanboy. You would have boiled his ass in molasses. You would have had that some bitch strung up. from
I
the
would have.
highest tree.
And then there would be no movie because I saved everybody.
No, Sheriff Buford T. Justice from Texas saved everybody.
There's I'm also in the movie, and this was really cool. I got a message from Deborah Voorhees that I was going to be credited as Jason Voorhees. So I actually got to play Jason Voorhees in 13 Fanboy. And what it was at the convention center, you'll see this mask at the convention that
Well,
I made this mask. It was just a plain white mask. I painted it to kind of look like in the fashion of a Jason mask, with the aging, the weathering, and stuff like that. So this is actually used on screen. You can see it in the convention scene with Corey Feldman. So I'm credited as Jason Voorhees as the knockoff. But anyway, so that was fun.
Yeah.
And then there's a scene with Nigel Laws and William Dixon in the movie. I don't think it's in the trailer, and I don't want to say what scene this was used at, but this is the machete.
Ah. Is that the one covered in real blood?
The one covered in real blood. This is it. This is
you know what I'm talking about when I say real blood.
I do, yes, yeah. I do. And then I have this. This is probably my most prized possession. Again, this is shown in the trailer, so it's not really a plot spoiler, but I have the noose.
Ah.
This is my prize. I keep all these things in a very safe place because I know
that is Bonko's private swing.
You know, it was really fun filming this. This is a long ass rope too. This was pure white when I bought it. I actually aged this with tea bags and acrylic paint to make it look a little more weathered. Because you know, white on film loses a lot of detail with the lighting if it's not perfect. So it was aged, and then my favorite. Actually, I'll show that last. I'll show you a couple pictures. When are you airing this? When are you airing this?
You want me to tell you? I don't know. It's going to be unlisted on my YouTube channel for a long time, probably. You're going to get the link. Before it goes public, and when you get
asking because there's going to be a Fanboy magazine coming out, a 13 Fanboy magazine, which you can pre-order now. I don't know what pictures are going to be in it, but Deborah asked me not to post any photos yet in case they were in the magazine. But technically, I don't think this would hurt because for one.
Well, this won't hurt because you'll get to put this interview up before it goes public, so you can.
And I don't expect too many pictures of me are going to be in that magazine, so I think I'm safe. I don't think
my pictures better be in there.
But I have this picture behind the scenes with Nora Hewitt with the clapperboard.
That's Nora Hewitt.
That is Nora Hewitt.
She was the one in the fight scene with Haley when they were practicing for the movie.
No, that was an actress that they hired for that role.
Oh, I thought she kind of looked like her.
Nora is the sicko who poured blood in my ear. No, I love Nora. She was so funny. She was one of the people on set. But and then of course I got to meet Lar Park, the one that I embarrassed myself with, and I said I would never wash my hand again. I'm trying to get the light.
Oh, it looks great. Yeah, there you go, right there. Yeah.
So she was sweet with the Nutella, and then I'm not gonna show you a whole lot more pictures. I think I got like 2 more. These are my 2 favorite pictures here that one of them I cannot wait to share on Facebook and stuff like that. But Ron Sloan sent me this.
Oh, there you go. Ron with D.
I'm glad you're in the 13 Fanboy family. And of course, I bought a frame. It's one of my favorite pieces sent by Ron. He's a real gentleman. And then this is my favorite photo with Deborah and I. This was actually taken with her phone, and she sent it to me where she's, I don't know how well.
Oh, I like that. That's nice.
She's stabbing me in the head.
There you go.
So that's one of my favorites. But my favorite piece that I have, and this is the gift that Nora Hewitt gave me that I thought may have been lost during the shuffle of location scouting, is the actual knife that this took 24 bobby pins, a whole shit ton of gel to hold in my hair. this bitch wasn't going anywhere. It took me probably 15 minutes just to get it out, so it was not falling off or going anywhere. But we had to wait until filming was finished because we didn't know if we were gonna use it again as a prop for anyone or not. But this is my most prized possession from 13 Fanboy was the knife that went into my noggin. So those are the things that I got to bring home with me, and
Did you use bobby
yeah,
pins to keep that in your hair?
they were bobby pins, yes. And I counted when I took them out. There was over 2 dozen bobby pins that she
Did she
used.
put a bow in your hair and stuff like that? The girls
Yeah, but that
use.
didn't make the final cut. It was a nice blue bow to match my security guard shirt. But yeah, no, she said luckily my hair was long because if my hair was short, like Deborah had wanted, that knife wouldn't have been able to be held in my hair because I had long hair at the time. It was pulled back, and then
Hmm.
the knife was put in there, and then the pins. But it also worked out great because I had long bangs and I had this old fan behind me in the scene blowing my bangs out. And Deborah, when she was editing it, she called me and
You
says,
had an
"Oh
old
my,
fan? How old was he that would be blowing your hair?
probably from the 1940s." So he was probably that old. But she just said it looked eerie, and she was glad it worked out the way it did. So it was fun.
Speaking of Troy Elke, he's just as bad a security guard as you. He was no help to Haley when she made the complaint call.
No.
What is it with useless security guards?
Well, you also have to think: did Troy Elke's voiceover character get killed off screen and just not mentioned? Because if you
He was
remember,
playing with his squirrel.
when you that sounds wrong. Troy, stop playing with the squirrel. Damn it. But when Haley's character went back to the phone, it was no longer Troy, it was Fanboy. So it makes you wonder. Troy's character could have been an off screen kill.
I don't know. I think the squirrel would protect Troy and scare away the fanboy. Just saying, I think that would happen. It's just like he took what the cut I wanted to see was when he looked at my picture, coughed up blood, and died. It could have made me the hero. Like, come on, Debbie Sue, come on. I could have been the hero. And I
Or
didn't even have a speaking part. Oh, there's other things too, I've about this. I was glad that I made the decision to interview people behind the scenes
right.
because I knew who when I saw the janitor and the first janitor that was Brian. I'm gonna go screw up his last name, but Brian Pandrea.
Yes, he was
That was
at screening with me on Friday. He was there.
yeah.
And it was really cool. There was actually a few cast members in the little Royal Oak Theater showing that I didn't even expect to be there, like him. He was there. The class. His name in the movie is Dale,
Hmm.
played by Rick Serra. Of course, he's not credited as Dale, but in the movie Tracy calls him Dale. He was there. One who says, "Is it true that you were on Friday the 13th?"
Yep.
And then
Is it true that he takes care of your dog?
he helps take care of my dog. Yes, yes, he does. But there was also, do you remember in Tracy's presentation of the Sausalito murders?
Uh-huh.
There was the youngest victim in the photo. It was a little girl who was 4 or 5, and she had a big butcher knife sticking out of her stomach, and her hand was over a little stuffed animal. She was there. That little girl was there, so that was really cool.
Okay.
She's gotten a lot taller. She's actually a granddaughter of a friend of mine. So
Okay.
Deborah called me one day and says, I need a crime scene of a family being murdered, and I need it, and these are her words, I need it brutal and bloody." So I had to think of family, and my ex-wife's family was more than happy to help out. They canceled their plans for the day. I thought of ways to dispatch of them, lost sleep doing it, felt very uneasy doing it. Went over there, took the photos, and I'm thinking, okay, my ex-brother-in-law, I'm going to shove an arrow in his neck, so it can be kind of a hats off to Kevin Bacon in the original.
Hmm.
A black glove. There's a black glove in one of the photos. It's kind of an homage to Tracy with the O.J. Simpson. There's a 13 crime scene number. That's like, okay, this is nodding to Friday the 13th. But there's all these things, but I'm thinking, okay, how am I going to kill these people? So it's like, okay, I'm gonna do an arrow here. I'm gonna strangle my ex-sister-in-law, and then they got their two kids who are, I believe at the time, like 11 and 7. I'm like, I'm gonna do that. So I cut one of their throats, and one of them got bashed in the head. And I lost sleep over this because I'm trying to think how am I gonna kill my family members, and it was really disturbing and it like psychologically
Well,
disturbing.
why
It was
didn't you do an Attack of the Killer Tomatoes one? Come
if you
on.
wanted it very realistic. You wanted it brutal and bloody and very realistic.
Well,
And
that
anyway,
could have
I'm
been.
I'm taking these photos, and one of the things that she wanted was an aerial shot, like a bird's eye view.
Hmm.
So I had to climb up in a ladder with my camera and look down at my family who was dead and bloody, and this little 5-year-old girl, her name's Jenna, with a knife sticking out of her. And I took these pictures, and I had to leave when I was done. I couldn't even help clean up the mess I threw up in their laundry room tub. It bothered me so much, and it was so graphic and gruesome. I threw up. And I'm like, all right, I got to go. And I had to go back the next day and do an outside crime scene with the body bags and bloody sheets and stuff. So it was disturbing. But so the photos that you see in 13 Fanboy, the Sausalito murders, that's my family, and they got to do it. Their names are, I'll give them a little credit here. In the credits it says thanks to the Hartley family, but their names were Robert, Diana, Kaylee, Kyle, and little Jenna was the little one. So they took their time out, and they became my victims for the day.
You
It
know
made me,
what? I had
made
no
me cute.
idea that that was a setup either.
And I had to drive home sick. I drove home sick after taking those pictures. I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck did I just do? But
Well, I heard after my photo was on set, Nora Hewitt drove home sick.
we all were sick that day. I think we shut down filming that for the rest of the night.
No, but so many great moments in this film. Dee Wallace was great. Feldman was friggin' hilarious.
Who?
Corey Feldman.
Oh yeah, he was great to be around on set. He was so funny and professional. His sense of humor was amazing. He was great.
I heard he did the Bill Murray thing.
I have bragging rights. I worked with Corey Feldman. I didn't meet him in a convention. I didn't bump into him in this strange place that you wouldn't expect to bump into him. I worked with him. I had him ask me if I wanted him to piss on my shoes. Not many people can say they had Corey Feldman say, "Do you want me to piss on your shoes?" But I did.
There you go. Well, I thought he was hilarious. There was an exchange between him and Andrew Leahy. That face he makes, and I'm like, I found him so funny. Oh yeah.
Yes, the pointer finger through the OK sign.
Yeah.
Every night.
Yep. I enjoyed that. We got to talk about the diva. Oh, the diva.
I will say
that Haley Greenbauer.
I think she is going to be an amazing scream queen, and I think her future is full of all kinds of just possibilities. I've been listening to the people talk about her, and they say that they think she did a phenomenal job carrying this on her shoulders along with Dee Wallace. It was the two of them who carried this. And
you want me to tell you what her best scene was?
Sure.
After a Pacific accident happens on a set, there's the scene after between her and Andrew Leahy, where it's in the trailer where she says she dies by my hand. I love her delivery of those lines.
Yes. Yeah. She was great. She was very natural too. She would just go in there and deliver her lines very naturally too. It's just she was great to be around. She's very funny.
Yeah, but she sent you out on a wind. She sent you. I might just do that with CJ Graham when I go to Fright.
I was so honored to go get her wine. She was like, "Here, I'm going to pay you back for it." I wouldn't take the money. I'm like, "No, I want to buy this bottle for her." She was truly amazing.
I have Vincent DeSante on here for the second time back in April, and he sent me some stuff in the mail too. From Never Hike Alone. By the way, Vincent DeSante loved him in this. Vincent DeSante, they should let him take the Friday the 13th franchise and let him run with it. If they were smart, none of this Ronnie Yu stuff.
Right. His Never Hike Alone is it's his Blu-rays to that are and Never Hike in the Snow are right up there in my Friday the 13th collection as canon.
Actually, to get off topic here, if you want to go further, check out It's Me, Billy by Dave McCrae and Bruce Dale.
Is that a fan film?
That's a fan film of Black Christmas, and it's done on the same level as Never Hike Alone.
Nice.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. I would recommend strongly. It's called It's Me, Billy. It's on YouTube. Check it out. You won't be disappointed. I had the 3 women in it already on the show. Nice. I was very, very impressed with it.
Nice.
But yeah, where was I going? Oh, Vincent DeSante. Yeah, he sent me some stuff in the mail. His brain and the fact he did stunts in this film, and stuff. Vincent to me has been just a cherished personality ever since the Friday the 13th lawsuit. Thank goodness we got him,
Yeah.
And he's so good in this movie, and of course there's
oh, this is gonna be good. I can tell. You can't even get it out.
Oh man. Next time I interview him, I gotta bring this up. There's a scene in the movie where Judy Aronson wakes up out of bed in the morning, and there's somebody in the bed next to her, and we discover it's Vincent DeSante. She tosses some money at him. He says, "A little short, you think?"
Those look like $50 bills. It wasn't cheap.
Oh, I thought that was funny. I laughed at that. I'm like, Vincent, she's paying you?
Didn't Judy look like she stepped out of 1984 to film this?
She and Tracy Savage both.
She was breathtaking. She was wearing at the end of the movie, you see her in her snuffed out video. You see her, she's wearing I think it was an oversized sweater, but she had these form-fitting jeans on and these really nice boots, and she was absolutely stunning.
Oh gee, in her black leather jacket, she looked really hot.
Yeah, is that what she was wearing, a jacket? Now I have to go back and rewatch the ending of it. I just remember she looked stunning. She was breathtaking. She walked out to film that.
Yeah. Oh man, Judy Aronson was great in this. I think Debbie Sue should make Snuffed Out.
That would be a good spinoff.
Yeah, I think she should. I love that because it plays around the whole snuff film thing.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, that ties in DeSante and Mike Merriman, the Corey Feldman character, and Judy Aronson, and that are making this film. And I loved it because it kind of tied in and added to the story. I love that.
Right.
One person we haven't brought up except for me and Frightmare is C.J. Graham. And I will not give anything away, but there's a moment in this film, and I think you'll know what it is. It's just excellent. It's a collision we all wanted to see. Yeah. And I'm glad it was with him. Yeah. They could have done it with Kane Hodder, but I'm glad it was him.
There's a lot of viewers. If it's what I think you're talking about, there was a lot of viewers commenting on that scene.
I love that.
Yes, it did get attention. That was another thing I was bummed out. I didn't get to meet not only Ron and Carol, but I didn't get to meet Dee and CJ.
I'm going to meet CJ.
But I did. Other than Dee, I did get to meet everybody else. I got to meet Ron and Carol, and I got to see Deborah again, and I got to meet Orlando Rodriguez, who is
Orlando Rodriguez is another one I saw in the film, taking the pictures. And of course, I mentioned Brian as he was one of the red herrings.
I think I got a little. I may have gotten a little flirty with Orlando. His new pictures that he posted from the premiere. He looked pretty good.
I spoke to Orlando.
I was like, appetizer or dessert.
I spoke to Orlando on the phone. I've had his number for a while, but I hadn't talked to him in a bit, and so after the interview, I just gave him a call and we just chatted about because he was the first one I admitted to that I'd seen the movie, and we
Yeah,
just
yeah.
chatted, and he was one of the people that reached out when I made that offer, and
Yeah.
and
Well, we're going to start a podcast, Orlando and I, and I'm hoping to get the ball rolling soon. I do have a guest lined up, but we're going to start a podcast, him and I.
can
He's
I
got
be a
the-
guest?
Oh, absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely.
Talk about how I could have been the hero of the film.
Or maybe you were, and we just didn't see it. Maybe it'll be in the
Yeah.
in the
Maybe
flash.
he coughed up blood when he saw my picture. Speaking of pictures, Carrie Yates and her family is in one of those pictures.
Yes,
Shout out to Carrie Yates because she was my first interview this year, and she was the one that got me started on Zoom.
yes, yeah.
Nancy McLaughlin had said to me, if she can do Zoom, I could do Zoom.
Mhm.
And I had my fourth interview lined up with TJ Doyle, who, if it screwed up, TJ, at least I would have known, would have understood and come back. But I had done 30 interviews in 2020, and then we went into lockdown. And I had about 30 people waiting. And I was lucky to get Nancy Allen on this year because she was one of those people
Love
I
her.
was, yeah,
Yes, I love Nancy.
I was so glad to get her. I wanted to talk about Dress to Kill and stuff like that. I was
I'd
so
love to
happy
talk
to.
about Poltergeist 3,
Jimmy Presley asked me to ask her about that. And
Strange
so I,
Invaders is another underrated
yeah,
film that not too many people know about. That was really fun.
yeah. But Dress to Kill was my big highlight because I loved her in that. And
I haven't seen that in a very long time. Didn't she end up getting killed in that? Now, remember, like I said, a movie that's 30, 20 years old, I don't think spoilers matter.
Dress to Kill to me
I
is
can't
it's my
recall.
favorite. It's my favorite De Palma film.
Did she get dispatched in that movie? Did she just survive through it? Okay. I couldn't remember. I remember her character and I remember her in it.
Yeah, I love Dress to Kill.
Yeah.
So I was happy to get her on here, and um, but she was one of those 30, and I was worried that I was going to lose some of these guests
Yeah.
because I went the rest of the year. I still worked as an essential worker, but I was like, I wasn't doing what I was enjoying doing. So my brother's my tech guy. So I said to him, I said, help me get set up on Zoom. I got to do this. Carrie Yates was happened to be online that night
Yeah, she's
when I
sweet.
made the announcement that I was going to try for Zoom. And she said, you want me to help you get broke in? And she did. And I got to credit Carrie Yates, who's been so supportive on everybody.
Right.
Yes.
Totally the wrong dialect. I wanted to give Carrie Yates a little bit of uh, a hello, and I wanted to do it with her accent to show how much I love her, but I don't think I got. I think I'm more like Crocodile Dundee than I did Carrie
You know
Yates.
what?
Right, right,
I love it
right,
when she
right.
says I love it when she says bloody hell because it sounds like
Bloody
Harry
hell.
Potter.
Yeah, yeah,
But there's been other people too, like Rob Mahoney and Jimmy Presley did a lot of lag work on this. Of course, we know the three amigos, Noelle and Christy and Lisa. You
yes.
know,
Noelle, yeah, she's sweet too. That's
I
another one
just
I wanted to mention earlier that I would have loved to have been there to meet Noelle.
Noelle did the Doubtfire Face challenge, though
Yeah,
I do know
yeah.
that. I just picture three girls, and then it's like they're all stuck together, like leashed together, and where one goes, the other goes, and
Mhm.
um, but we got to mention those, and I had some really cool people on here, and it made watching 13 Fanboy more fun,
Yeah, yeah. That's what I
because
said too. It's hard to watch. Someone, where did I hear? When you make a movie, you're supposed to step away from it for 7 years before you watch it to watch it as the movie that it is.
hmm
Otherwise, you're so tied up in knowing all these experiences and knowing these people personally that you can't really see it for the movie that it is because it's more like a kind of a family reunion and you're remembering all these things behind the scenes. So I don't think I'm gonna be able to step away from it for 7 years. But maybe, maybe one of these days down the road I can watch it for the movie that it is,
hmm
not the movie that I love because of the movie that I know. You know what I mean?
hmm
I mean, I know it's a phenomenal movie, but it's like a family reunion when I watch it. It's like, oh, there's Christy, there's Noelle, there's Spring. Look at Chris, he's dancing.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, I had a great time watching it. I'm glad I watched it 3 times because I think I had it for 2 days on that
Yeah,
YouTube thing.
yeah.
So
My biggest accomplishment that I'm most proud of is being the production assistant in that movie. That was probably where I got all my experiences, and I just loved every minute of it. And honestly, when I went to see it at the theater and I saw myself on the screen for the first showing, it made me uncomfortable.
hmm
And I don't know what that was about, but when my family came in for the second showing, when that scene was coming up, I wanted to go to the concession stand just so I wouldn't have to be there when it came up to see it again because I was like, that's kind of weird. Seeing yourself on the big screen, it's very, it made me very self-conscious, and I don't know that I liked it. It was just weird.
well, I had the same reaction. I was like, oh, it's Jason Bradford, kind of weird.
Exactly. Even as Troy Elke, it's weird. So I consider myself very lucky to be the production assistant. And if I were to run into someone in the street and they're like, "Oh, 13 Fanboy, well, how are you tied to it?" I think production assistant is the very first thing that I would say. And then of course there's a director of public relations and the graphic designer and the creative consultant. Those would all follow, and then actor and co-producer would probably be my last string of the credits. I was also a mask maker. I think on the credits like 8 times.
And you're the Troy Elke fanboy, of course.
I'm the Troy Elke fanboy, and I'm also Jason Voorhees. I have the credit to prove it.
There you go. No, no, I was happy to be part of this. And yeah, I watched it. So now if there's spoilers, it's not ruined for me. And I'll probably do a video where I talk about it, but I'm going to wait for a bit because,
You
like
know
I
what would be
said,
fun? Now that you have Zoom, and I'm sorry I didn't mean to interrupt you. I
hmm
have a really bad habit of that when I get like excited in a thought. It'd be
hmm
really fun if you had like, you can do like Zoom with like 16 different people. Let's get as many together as we can. Let's get
yeah, but number
Welly and
one,
Carrie and Christy and Chris and Troy and Rick
it
and
it costs money to do that,
yeah.
and
I think
that's
you can
what.
do I think you can do 40 minutes for free with up to
Yeah,
eight
but
people. We just have to just cut it and say, okay, from the beginning, let's just make this a 40-minute thing and do our thing. And
yeah, but
after
there's
the 30-minute
nothing.
mark, just start
There's no
wrapping up.
timer here.
Yeah, well, if you
So,
want to do it, I'll keep time. I have to check. I don't know how it would work. I might have a Zoom account. I could do it and you could run it. I don't know. It's just something to throw out there.
yeah,
It's fun.
well,
Have
yeah,
like
I'd be open to it, but
have a Brady Bunch kind of square on there, and maybe we can even talk to Ron Sloan.
well,
Join us. We'll put him in the
like,
middle. He'd be
yeah,
Alice. He'd be the Alice of the Brady Bunch.
no, Troy Elke goes in the middle.
Troy Elke goes in the middle. No, Troy Elke would be the Mr. Brady. He'd be in the bottom. He'd be the bottom.
I thought
He's the,
Troy Elke be the housekeeper.
he'd be the-
No, but that's why I don't, because my interviews, I had one back in January with Craig Muckler that went 4 hours and 8 minutes. I like to let my
I
guests.
totally believe you because I told you I had to be out of here by 11. It's after midnight.
Oh, well, too fucking bad for you because we got more stuff to talk about. Sit your ass down.
I got my caffeine going on here. I think this has caffeine in it, but
Now let's move away from 13 Fanboy because we're both part of Z Dead End.
yes, I got to film the scene in that. I played myself.
You played with
Yes,
yourself.
I
I didn't
played.
want to hear about that.
I did, and it was probably a 4-minute scene playing with playing myself in a graveyard. I filmed it in a graveyard. Played a news reporter, and um, I hear Todd Bridges is in that. Is it ZZN that Todd Bridges is in? I know Kane Hodder and Felissa Rose.
Well, it's
I think
funny
they're
that Dave Sheridan and Felissa Rose are both in this, and I'm going to meet them both at Frightmare.
yes, that would be awesome.
Officer Doofy and
Now,
Angela from Sleepaway Camp.
let,
They
let
need to
me.
do a crossover with both of those characters.
I filmed this huge monologue. Night of the Living Dead is public domain.
Yep.
So I did this huge. I contacted the director of the film pertaining to my scene, and I said, "Look, Night of the Living Dead is public domain, and there's this big monologue that's in the movie with the radio guy or the news guy talking." And I said, "I'd like to do that monologue as a news reporter." And he said, "Yeah, cool, go for it." So I did. And this monologue, it's if you talk fast, of course, you don't want to talk too fast because you want to be heard. it's 2 solid minutes of just talking. It's a very long monologue. I think it was like 2 pages, and I nailed it and I got it down. But the language that they used, it was like these strange beings, um, alien beings, and it sounded more like an alien thing, even though George Romero had written it. And the director, I sent the thing to the director, and I wasn't able to get back to cemetery.
Robert Redstro.
Yeah, I believe so.
I had him on here too.
I
Actually,
sent
his
him,
interview goes public next on my YouTube.
nice.
So,
I
yep,
sent him the footage that I had filmed doing this entire monologue in one take,
yeah.
and he's like, alien beings. This is zombies. I'm like, well, yeah, that's what it meant. As George Romero wrote this back in the, the Jurassic period. But he's like, can you change it? I'm like, do you mind if I did a voiceover? I'll just re-record it, and I redid it, and it just doesn't sound as good to me as it did when I originally did it, because it's a voiceover, and I had to say it perfectly to match up with my mouth and change certain words from like alien beings to zombie beings or whatever it was that I did. Luckily, my mouth moves to the new words, so that didn't really affect anything. I wasn't as pleased with the sound, the stiffness of the voiceover. So it's actually gonna be a voiceover of myself, Z Dead End, but we'll see. Maybe he'll be able to put it on there where it doesn't sound so bad. I don't expect him to use the whole monologue anyways. It's 2 minutes of footage, but
Well, I'm on as a co-producer or associate producer on this. Don't know which one now. I've run into each other, but they got Georgia Lansonby listed for this for U.S. president. You got rumored Roger Corman, Brink Stevens is in this. Genevieve Rossi plays Pitchfork Molly.
Brink's another one I would love to meet. So it's thrilling to say I'm in a movie with Brink Stevens.
I've never had Brink on here. She turned me down.
Oh,
And she's been in a couple James Balsamo movies that I've been in.
yeah.
Yep. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this as well. I still think that Dave Sheridan and Felissa Rose should have been Officer Doofy and Angela, so I could hear Officer Doofy say, "Does Angela swallow? Angela swallow." Right? Special Officer Doofy.
Just swallow.
Angela swallows. And then you got Felissa Rose over there. And you got one I'm not part of, but Troy Elke is part of Massacre Academy.
Yeah, I didn't get to film that.
And that's got Dave Sheridan and Felissa Rose in again. Holy crap. Are those two dating or something?
I wish I had. That's the one that Lisa and all these amazing people were a part of. And I had gotten my costume together. Mohawk fishnet shirt, muscle t-shirt under the fishnet, make me look a little bit ripped. But I bought a house, and the week that I was supposed to go to film this, I had to close on my house. So it kind of didn't work out, but I think I might still be in the credits listed.
You're listed, yep.
Yep, but I unfortunately didn't get to film it, and they were sharing the behind the scenes as it was happening. It looks like so much fun. The director of that movie, his name eludes me right now, but
Mark Cantu.
Yes, just seeing the trailer of Mark Cantu's work for that movie and the other work they did, I would love to be in something of his. He looks very talented, and I know that they have fun on the set when he films too. It's not all super serious and stuff like that. So I would be happy to support one of his future projects just based off of what I've seen.
Well, I've had a few of these thrown at me, but I'm not in a position financially where I would like to support the next Fanboy film,
Yeah.
and I'm hoping I can do that. But
well, you're probably talking a couple of years before that happens anyways. If it happens, we're hoping that this is a big enough success if the fans want it and make it happen. So go to Voodoo, and I'm doing a plug here.
how well did it do this weekend? Do you know?
Go buy your movie on Vudu and Xbox and all these platforms and go see it at the theater. It's still showing. I don't know the numbers. They probably won't have those back until probably next week, I would imagine. I don't know. I'm just hoping that it does good enough for the sequel.
What about Son of the Wolf?
Son of the Wolf is a Joel Paul Reisig movie. He's doing that. is still filming. It hasn't finished yet. I'm an extra in it. That's the
Hmm.
film. I went to be an extra on it. It was fun, except for the fact that it was like below freezing, and I learned that leather boots have no insulation. And after spending 8 hours in the freezing in leather boots and barely a jacket, that hot coffee at the restaurant was probably the best thing that I ever had. But I met Joel there for the very first time. Um, I think he knew of me, but I didn't introduce myself to him on set, so he wasn't really familiar with who I was, even though he knew of me. It wasn't until after the fact he called me or texted me. I can't remember. It might have even been a messenger on Facebook. He's like, "You're that Jason Bradford." I didn't realize, at the time. But yeah, so that was probably my first. That was my second time being an extra on a film. The first one was probably 20 years ago with Todd and Tommy Brunswick. We did a movie called Writer's Block that was filmed here in Michigan.
I don't see this one down here, but didn't you have a film with Tom Matthews and Vinny Gustafaro you did
Yeah,
with
that was the gun, the
yeah.
gun, the badge, and the Hangman's Noose, which got switched to Golden Tooth. Um, but I honestly don't know what's going on with that. I haven't spoken with Vanessa in quite some time. It's kind of fallen out of touch a little bit. So I don't know. I think that's on her back burner. She's got me down as checkers player number 1 or number 2 or something like that.
Well, I had the screenwriter on here
Yeah,
in 2020,
yeah,
and
Santiago. I think I
yeah.
think I think his is the badge, the gun, and the Hangman's Noose, and I think Vanessa's asked. This is what I think happened. I don't hold me 100% liable for this or right, whatever the word is I'm looking for. I think she took one of his characters and did a spin-off script and made it her own. I think that's the character of Golden Tooth. So I think
Hmm.
Edward wrote the badge and Vanessa wrote Golden Tooth based off of one of his characters. I think that's what it is.
Okay.
He's
Yeah.
got a very, very fun screenplay made, and I think it would be absolutely phenomenal. And I really do hope that she gets that movie made because I think that would make make her very well known as a serious. I'm talking like Quentin Tarantino style. Um, her screenplay could totally go in that direction. It's bizarre. It's twisted. It's fun. It's serious. It's bloody. It's. I don't want to give anything away, but it's all those things, and I really hope she gets it made. And just remember, I'm man playing checkers number 1. Vanessa, you're watching. Don't write me out. Don't delete my scene. I want to play checkers.
Yeah. I gotta say, I want to express my deep gratitude to you that you did the Doubtfire Face challenge a couple of times there for suicide and depression awareness. And I'm still awaiting some people on that to do one. I know Adrian King's been nominated, I think 5, maybe 6 times. I know somebody that's actually in the business that said if Adrian hasn't done it by the time he does it, he's nominating her. In fact, he's going after Debbie Sue as well. And
Good.
that,
I hope to see them do that. That would be fun.
yeah, well, this person is somebody we both know from a certain crew.
Is this Troy?
No, when I
No.
say crew, that should symbolize something.
Hmm. You had to throw me a little more here, other than
Okay,
crew.
I'll just come out and say it. Adam
Okay.
Marcus said he and the
Adam
skeleton
Marcus.
crew are going to do it.
Crew. 3 or is it 4? It's
3. Some
3.
people go with 4, but Jimmy Presley did 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went after Adrian King. He went after Melanie Kinnaman, Lar
I
Park Lincoln, and Amelia Kincaid because he likes Night of the Demons.
Yeah, I like her too. She seems very sweet with her fans. I'm
Hmm.
one of her friends on Facebook. So I follow Amelia. She seems like the type who would do it.
Yeah.
I know
So
I think she has a charity that she does for animals. I'm wondering if maybe she'd take a pie in the face for a
you
not
know
from you
what?
specifically, but from other people.
Well, here's the thing. I've donated to charities for Doubtfire Challenge, and I had a couple of people, I won't name them, screw me over on that. And it's like if they're not going to do it, don't wait until after I donate to your charity.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
that's not fair to me. Like when Sandy Johnson did it, I
Oh,
donated
I
to
love Sandy Johnson. She's so sweet.
Sandy's
Yeah.
a beautiful soul.
I
And I
got to
loved
meet
her
her in
joke for a
July.
challenge. Her husband was dressed up as Michael Myers,
Yes.
and she
Awesome.
nominated Nick Castle, PJ Souls, and Felissa Rose. I'm going to show this to Felissa Rose at Frightmare in the Falls. And I have a gut feeling that Felissa will probably be down for it, judging from everything I've heard about her. But anyway, her charity was Tunnels for Towers, which was for first responders family 9/11. And I made a donation to that. I've always made good on my donations. It takes less than $5 to get a paper plate, some
Mhm.
whipped cream, and video yourself take a pie in the face or have somebody else pie you. Doesn't matter. Some people like Nancy McLaughlin, who did it in front of props from Jason Lives, and because she used a cake because that's what Robin Williams used. But or people like Sandy Johnson, who had her husband dressed up as Michael Myers. I just made it a little extra fun.
Right.
But it's like so many people from 13 Fanboy. I know Ron Sloan did it, which was really cool. Um, I threw it out to Judy Aronson on Cameo, and she promised she would do it. And she didn't do it then because of the pandemic. And I wouldn't expect anybody to go out and
Right.
risk themselves.
Right.
Yes. But I know Tracy Savage has been nominated a couple of times, and I really want her to do it because I put a lot of money into this movie because of Tracy. So I'm hoping Tracy does it, and I know it would inspire her students. Lara Park Lincoln's been nominated 3 times. Scotty McCoy and Jimmy Presley both went after her. Melanie Kinnaman's been nominated 3 times. Oh, gee, who else? Adrienne King a number of times, and I've been told yes by the people I've named. Now, whether they followed through, I don't know. I can't force people to, but it's like when Sandy Johnson reposted, like she did it before lockdown, but when she reposted hers on Facebook, it was unbelievable. There was not one negative comment. People were like, I needed to see this. Thank you, Sandy, for posting this. This brought a smile to my face today, you know? And I'm like, it's not a pain in the ass to nominate these people for this. When it cost, if I'm donating $25 to a charity, in the case of one person, I donated $50 to charity, and I got screwed on that. That was not right
Right.
for something that would cost them less than $5 to do.
Less than $1.
Yep. And I have to take it easy on the charities because of my financial situation, but I'm still willing to make donations if somebody's, and I'm going to donate more to their charity than $5, I can assure you. But there's a bunch of people from 13 Fanboy. I'm hoping will come on board. I'm saying this as their co-producer. I'm talking to people like your Tracy Savage, your Lar Park Lincoln, Debbie Soup, whoever, whoever, I thank you for doing the challenge. And I think you told me you were going to do it a third time.
If I'm nominated, I have to be nominated by someone to do it.
Oh,
Hmm.
well, you know what?
What?
I'd love to see you do it a third time.
You're nominating me officially, Greg Gilbert?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Then I shall do it.
Do it. And
I think I shall nominate after I do it Tracy Savage. I think I shall nominate Becca Rose, who was also a part of 13 Fanboy. She worked craft, so she had me handle food a lot when she needed help. So that would be karma for Becca Rose.
was she on screen?
Um, I don't know. I know she filmed a scene with, I think it was a scene with Lar, or a scene that Lar was a part of, but I'm not sure. I don't remember seeing her in it.
Who's the other person you'd nominate?
Probably Orlando. I think Orlando would do it.
Orlando's a pretty cool cat, isn't he?
Yeah, and if I got to do a fourth person, that would probably be, I'm thinking Adam Marcus. would be my fourth choice. Those would be my four. Of course, I know if I nominate more than three, I'm gonna have to do the challenge more than once myself. Because if you get three per pie, I would do it twice. So I have to
Well,
think a few more.
I know Adam and Deborah Sullivan were going to do it, and they're going to bring in, of course, Ali Rivera. Ali Rivera's got to do it. Ali said you's open for it. And
Troy.
even, huh?
Troy. Sorry, squirrel moment.
Troy Elke already did it.
Troy, do it again.
Troy Elke was dressed up in drag. Don't you remember?
I don't even want him to put his face in it. I just wanted him to put pie filling all over his beard. I'm not nominating Troy. I'm nominating Troy's beard.
Did you see him? He was dressed up in drag. And he nominated Adrian King. He actually nominated you as well, I thought.
I don't remember him nominating me. I only got the one that I knew of. Shit, if he nominated me and I didn't do it, now I feel kind of bad.
He was.
Troy, did you nominate me?
Troy was in his glory, in his night dress, in his wig.
I could see him doing some kind of a Ethel from Friday the 13th Part 3 character. Or not Ethel. Edna. I can see him doing some kind of Edna with the curlers in his hair.
Well, if you do a third one, yeah, nominate those people. Yeah, I definitely would love to see Tracy Savage do it.
Yeah.
And when I see her again this fall, like I said, I'm open to donating to the charity of her choice if she does it. Because I don't know how much money I spent on this movie because of her.
You love her.
I love Tracy Savage. Yeah.
I am looking for a pen to write down these names so I don't forget. On a fucking chocolate bar. Look at that. I'm happy.
Well, just don't look, if you got a chocolate bar, just don't say, forget it yet, Vinny. But you're really out of line.
Yeah, I'll put it over here. And later on when you're hungry, you can have that.
Troy will eat it.
I gotta write these names down. No, I'm gonna eat it all by myself. I ain't gonna share this with no Vinny, Troy, or anyone else.
Oh, you gotta share it with Troy.
I would love to work with Troy. He would be fun to meet. Actually, we're supposed to be shooting a short together. We did one called Duck All Orange.
What did you say? You're shitting your shorts together? Frig, man, you don't need to share that with me.
Only on the weekends. Only on the weekends. That's it. But we did a short called Duck All Orange or Orange Duck for short, and it got sent to the festivals and it did really well. Vanessa wrote it, and we filmed our parts separately in 3 different states, and then she edited it and made it and sent it out, and it did pretty well. So we're gonna probably start shooting little micro shorts.
Oh, cool.
I'm not talking about 1970s right up your ass micro shorts. I'm talking about little films that are less than 2 minutes.
Well, as long as we get videos of Troy in a Borat Speedo, we're good.
Borat.
He should be in the next Fanboy film.
What would his role be?
I don't know, but he wouldn't be killed off. He'd just show up and go, "My name is Borat. Debbie Sue Voorhees. She was out on Hubbard lawn doing."
He owes me. He'd have to be a Jason Bradford. His name, he'd have to have a name tag that says Bradford on it.
I am Bradford.
There we go. Borat Bradford.
I had somebody from Borat on the show this year. I had the prostitute, the woman that was
Greg.
the prostitute, the black woman.
Greg,
Huh?
never seen Borat.
Oh, you never seen it? Shame
No.
on you.
I know.
Did
I worked
you
at
see
the video store. I worked at the video store when it came out too, and I've never seen it.
Oh, I loved it.
We'll take home 5 free videos every week, and I've never seen it.
Oh, wow. Did you find a pen yet?
No.
What are you doing? Why are you doing stuff in your face when you're supposed to be writing that stuff down?
It's fucking chocolate.
Yes, but you know what happened to Joey?
Yeah, I did. Oh, I found a pen.
You found a pen. There you go. Can you
And
write?
I found an extra soup label. I mean, go figure.
Can you write? Can you? Do you want me
Yes.
to?
Remind me of these names that I named off. I believe I said
Tracy Savage.
Tracy Savage. I have to remember this.
TR.
Oh, I know how to spell her name. Okay, so I said Tracy. I said Becca Rose.
Becca Rose.
I said Troy.
You said Troy's beard.
Troy Ucky's beard. Yes. Hang on, let me change that. Beard. Okay.
Yeah.
I said Adam.
Yeah.
Orlando.
Yep.
Okay. Oh God, Orlando, if you're watching this, I hope I spelled your last name right. And then that leaves one more. Help me pick a sixth before we end our conversation. We have to think of a sixth.
You could do one of two people, and I got two ideas for you.
Okay.
Lara or Jennifer.
Oh, Jennifer. It's gotta be Banco. Jennifer Banco. Okay, so these are my six that I wrote down, so you can see I actually wrote it. Can you read it? Is that
You put it right on the soup label?
fucking backwards? I can't. The way I move. Okay, Tracy, Becca, Troy Elke's beard, Adam Market, Orlando, and Jennifer Banco.
There you go.
Those are my six. I'll do it twice just so I can name six.
Oh wow. Yeah. Hopefully, as the things start dying down. Hopefully.
And now I don't know if it's because I'm looking at the soup label, but I feel bad I didn't name Ron. I might have to do it 3 times and name Ron Sloan too.
Well, Ron did do it though.
I did too. You can do it again.
Yeah, Ron did do it. But I'm looking forward to having Tracy back on, probably Boxing Day. So, yep.
Yeah, I would like to see her back on. Come here.
Hey, what do you have?
Come here. Come on. Want your chew? You want your chew? Come here. Hazel, come here. My dog isn't here, but get it. Come get it. Come here.
How many times did you do that on set?
Can we see my dog? Come on.
I see your doggy.
You want your chew? Come get it. Come get your chew. Go ahead.
I thought you were talking to Rick Sarah.
He's not gonna come up here.
What, Rick Sarah or the dog?
Dog.
Well, anything else that you want to promote on here before we close off?
Nothing that I can think of. I'm writing a new short called "In the Shadow of the Boogeyman." I would like to get that finished.
What about Bitch?
Bitch, I kind of put that on the back burner. I'm not real pleased with. I wrote four installments, but I like the first Bitch. I'm not too keen on the story. I like where the storyline went. I think I love the title. I get more interested in In the Shadow of the Boogeyman, and I also wrote one called Lavinia. I don't know if you're familiar with Lavinia Fisher, serial killer in the 1800s, kind of a supernatural based off of her. So,
I love the title, Bitch.
It's just
love that
everyday love story between a man and his werewolf.
There you go. Or like Troy Elke, an everyday love story between a man and a squirrel.
Yes. They watch Netflix together.
Their favorite movie is The Nut Job.
Yes.
Yeah. And I also want to come out and just say that I appreciate stuff you're doing at the hospital too, and place that you work. You're really standing up for a lot of people that need a voice. And those posts have not gone unseen by me. So I want to express my appreciation for that.
Thank you.
Because like yourself, we've both been in the front lines of this whole shit show called the pandemic. Yep. So
these hospitals, they don't really care about the safety of their employees. It's all of the administration staff are just all about themselves. They don't even come into the hospitals and see the kind of conditions that we're working with. Short-staffed.
Yep.
Overcrowded because patients they're sick. and so I appreciate the acknowledgement of that.
Well, I've seen that, and I've seen what you've been doing, and yeah, I wanted to bring that out here. I understand that because we're short-staffed, and that's
Yeah.
why I've been doing some long hours. And my supervisor has already told me she's not looking forward to me spending a week in Toronto, but I kind of need it. I'm looking forward to seeing Lisa Langlois from class of 1984 when I go down there. Um, she and I are now, good friends, and so I'm going to connect with her down there, and I've got other people that I'm going to connect with as well. So
Sounds very fun.
I'll see CJ Graham.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I got to finally meet him. I didn't meet him during the filming of Fanboy, but I did get to meet him. I believe it was a few months later. It was before the pandemic got really, really bad. So I reunited with Nora Hewitt again and Jason West in Detroit. So it was a small little Fanboy reunion. It was fun. It was nice. CJ was a great guy. Tall, man. That man is fucking huge.
Yeah, but because we're like co-producers and stuff, you're probably higher up than me. We are their bosses, aren't we?
Well, like I said, I don't really see myself as much besides the production assistant. That's where I got most of my experience. So
I'm kind of like Jay. Could I get CJ to bring my bags into the hotel? Maybe get
I'll be
my
like,
coffee.
I don't know, Greg. You ask him. I'm drinking the coffee he just brought me.
That book, there's as much scene in 13 Fanboy where he's reading a book. Was that Twilight or was that 50 Shades of Grey?
I
Which one
don't
was
know,
that?
but I noticed D was reading Book of the Dead. Nice touch. Nice touch. Nice touch. And if you're familiar with that scene, like 5 seconds after she's reading the Book of the Dead, what happens next? It's a nice touch. Sick
Oh,
twisted
cool. I never noticed that.
sick twisted little Deborah Voorhees' mind at play there. I caught that, Deborah. If you're watching this, I caught that.
Yeah. I I hate to give things away. I
That's
knew it.
why I'm not mentioning anything beyond that.
I knew it was the dogs all along.
Yeah, who was it? Birdie? Was that the dog's name? Scout?
Yes, I knew it was the dogs. Yes, Scout.
Scout, yes.
Yeah, I knew it was the dogs. I
Yeah,
guessed it the whole time.
yes. I saw a picture of one of the dogs that had blood all down its mouth and all over its
Yes.
fur. It was very suggestive of homicidal tendencies.
Yes, I knew all along. Yeah, they look like they could tear somebody apart.
They're very cute.
They're so fierce looking.
I got to meet the cat in person, the cat that was there. I got to meet the cat.
I got a kitty.
Cat.
I don't know where my kitty is though. I think he's hiding because he knows anytime he's near me, I'm gonna stick him up here. Nancy Allen had a great reaction to my cat. She was like, I just want to smush his face. Yeah, I like my cat. It's cool. So many people say they love it when they see my cat. Skittles does not. Yeah, he's hiding somewhere. I think he's learned to avoid me when I'm doing this because he knows I'm going to exploit him for hits. But one more question.
Sure.
I've done 3 horror-ramas. I've done 1 Comic Con. I'm about to do my first Frightmare in the Falls. Talk about convention experiences you have, who you've met, who's made the impressions on you.
I haven't had many. I'll say it this way. I've been to 3 conventions.
Mm-hmm.
The first one I was at was actually on set of 13 Fanboy. I consider that my first convention because that set the mood, that set the kind of the pace and what was in store at the conventions. And Corey Feldman, I guess you would say I met him at that first convention on set. I know it wasn't a real convention, but I like to think of it as a convention. My first actual real convention was shortly after I met, oh God, I can't remember his name. The guy who Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the young thin guy. His name eludes me.
Ed Neal?
No. He's the guy who had the plate in his head in part 2.
Oh, Bill
He,
Moseley.
yeah, Bill Moseley. I met him,
Hmm.
CJ Graham, um, Art, the guy who played Art the Clown,
I had him on this
was
year.
there. Yes,
Yeah,
he was actually
David Howard
cool.
Thornton.
Yes, yes. There's something cute about that guy. But anyway, he sent me a little video promoting 13 Fanboy back in the day when we were just starting. I couldn't use it though because there was no audio. That I couldn't get the audio to come through, but I could read his lips, and he was really gracious to do that. Um, who else? There was I met. Well, of course, I met Carol Locatel, Ron Sloan. I got to see Deborah again, Melanie Kinnaman, Dick
What was it
Wien.
like to meet Melanie Kinnaman? She's
Oh,
one of my
I
crutches from that
I
franchise too.
I'm not gonna lie, and I felt really bad about this. I didn't talk to her much because I was intimidated by her because she's she's smaller than I expected. She's such a small woman, but she's gorgeous. And I think I was a little starstruck by her. Like I told you when I was in New Mexico, I was afraid of saying something stupid.
Hmm.
I shrank back into that fear with Melanie Kinnaman. I was like, I don't want to say anything stupid. So I shrunk back from her a little bit just out of that because it was like Melanie fucking Kinnaman. You know, I don't want to be the guy she remembers as that asshole who said this or that. So I was gracious. We talked for a few minutes. She thanked me for coming. She shook my hand. I got my picture with her. I got an autograph, a beautiful photo, black and white. It looks like she looks like Sandra from Grease, the after Sandra. She was drop dead gorgeous in it. Um,
Oh wow.
I met Suzanne Snyder and the other gentleman who was in Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Oh, Suzanne's beautiful.
He was so sweet. Very sweet. Sandy Johnson, Dick,
Love Sandy.
um, um,
Dick Wayne.
no, the guy who played the safe, Nick Castle.
Oh,
Met
Nick
Nick Castle.
Castle.
I got to meet the guy who played 6-year-old Michael Myers.
Yep.
He was there. He was very friendly. Kane Hodder was there again.
Oh, did you punch him in the balls?
No, you know what? He actually on set of Fanboy, he carried around his banana gun, and it looked like an uncircumcised dick, and he carried it around waist level, so it looked like he was shooting everybody with an uncircumcised pecker.
I heard
It
that
was funny.
he had a fart maker on there too.
That wouldn't surprise me. That sounds like something he would have done. But it's really cool. I had spaghetti with Kane on set, so I can also say I ate dinner with Kane. That's not a bragging right that I got. But yeah, it's just those were the only conventions that I was
I
at.
bet I heard Kane had
Sandy
spaghettios.
Johnson, if I didn't say Sandy Johnson, I got to meet her too. She was really sweet. I'm sorry, what'd
Didn't
you say?
did Kane have spaghettios?
No, he just had spaghetti. The spaghetti that Becca Rose made.
Yeah.
So that's why I said she did craft. So I think a pie on her face would just be perfect karma for Becca Rose.
So did Becca cut Kane's food up for him and
Yeah, she had too many people to cook for. She was cooking for a full set of people, cast and crew. So she had her hands full.
there you go.
Yeah,
There you go. Did you meet Adrian King? You
I
know, it said,
did. I did not meet her on set. I met her actually. I spent the night with Adrian King. We watched
oh,
Friday the 13th together. She sold me a boat. We stayed up all night long, and then I went home.
yeah.
Now, the true story to that, which is that is a true story. It was in a movie theater. There was a whole bunch of other people there. It was an overnight experience, and we stood in line for an autograph for until 6 o'clock in the morning, where I bought a boat that was in front of her, and she signed it. So, I did tell Adrian, I'm going to explain it that I spent the night with you. We watched Friday the 13th, and I bought a boat from you. And she laughed and said, "Okay."
Yeah.
She was sweet. She was my first alumni that I got to meet in person, and I was so excited. She was
She
so
was the
sweet.
first alumni that I had interviewed.
She told me that the time she was up in front of the theater before the movie started, she was looking for me in the crowd. She knew I was coming out, and that made me feel good.
She'd been nominated, I think, 5, if not 6 times for Doubtfire. So
Yeah,
she did say yes for just a matter of waiting. She just
gotta
a
do
matter
it.
of waiting.
Gotta do it. Do it.
Adam thinks she'd do it.
Yeah, she didn't do it.
Yeah, but I don't know. I got a signed script by her, a Friday the 13th, but she got to get that Crystal Lake wines down here.
I have a lot of photos and wine bottles signed by her.
Yeah.
But I would like to get the photo of her and I together signed by her. I actually have a photo of us. I have a big Friday the 13th collection with all these different things, and I
Mm-hmm.
have some photos on it. Adrian, I have Ron and Carol and I framed. And then I have, of course, the one that with D Wallace and Ron framed. And then I have Deborah and I framed. And I have one with Adrian and I framed. And Suzanne Snyder. Certain photos, I just frame them and put little 5x7s on the side of my stands just to
Is Suzanne Snyder still as gorgeous as she
Oh my
was?
God. I don't know. Her and Judy must be sharing some kind of secret water because they're both stunning.
Yeah.
I know they're friends, so they have this kind of secret that I don't know. Maybe they're the Louis and Lestat of the celebrity world.
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah. But you know what? It was fun having you come on here tonight.
Thank you for
I'm
having me.
having Westboard on here tomorrow, or Jason West, as you said he was.
Jason West. Yes.
I might have to change that on the Zoom thing.
Yes.
Westboard.
Westbourne.
Yeah. Or Westbound, whatever it was. I'm like,
But that's
okay,
it. I think that's it. Westbound. Yeah. Yeah.
Westbound. I'm
He
like,
was
that's not your real name, is it?
we did the premiere together. There's a photo of us taken with the little girl Jenna from the Sausalito murder photos. The four of us, Jason and Jenna and Paul and myself are all in a photo. So that was really cool. I'll tag you in
Yeah.
it so you can see it.
Cool. Was it sold out at these screenings?
It was almost sold out. Yeah, there weren't many seats left. There was I think 2 seats left in the whole theater, and then the second showing was over half full, so that was cool. But
Those 2 seats for not those were empty because Troy and I didn't make it.
see, you guys should have showed up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, we should have. But you guys didn't have a red carpet out for us, so
there was no red carpet.
supposed to be for us.
Well, we didn't have the whole red carpet. Just a quick Q&A afterwards. We had fun Q&A though. We had a lot of horror fans show up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It was wonderful having you back on here. Anytime too, if you're doing addition, and you want an opinion on it, I don't mind you reaching out to me on that. I actually appreciated you doing that, and
Really cool.
yeah,
You want to do another quick impromptu interview with another production assistant, just so you can add them to your repertoire of fanboy. A quick one single question. I have the production assistant. Oh, never mind. He's saying no and turn around and walking out. He's not. He's wearing.
was it Rick Sarah?
No, it's actually Paul Hendrickson. If you watch the credits under the production assistant, it
Why?
says,
Why? Where'd he go?
says he walked out. He's not one for interviews. He's standing here, but no, he's not standing here anymore.
No, I can't do it. I
You could
can't
have at
do
least
it.
one question. You could have got his name under your belt.
I can't do it. I'll have to admit that I'm a Troy Elke fan. Is he a Troy Elke fan?
I don't know if he knows Troy Elke. Rick knows Troy Elke. Rick is a fan.
Rick is definitely
Paul,
a
Paul
fan.
doesn't get on Facebook as much as the rest of us.
I didn't have Rick Sarah on here too. I know you tagged him in that post, but I think he
Yeah.
was watching Troy Elke videos.
Probably.
That's I'm assuming. I'm assuming everybody watches Troy Elke videos. I think Judy Aronson watches Troy Elke videos.
I think Troy Elke watches Judy Aronson videos.
I watch Judy Aronson videos.
You watch Tracy Savage videos.
I watch Tracy Savage videos. Absolutely, I watch Tracy Savage videos. Yeah. Yeah. I'm less rich because of Tracy Savage.
I think Tracy Savage is actually the perfect note to go out on.
I'll say it right now, and you can say it with me. We love you, Tracy Savage.
You're cutting out. You're actually frozen too.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We need to have. You were supposed to say you loved her too, man.
I do love Tracy Savage.
Yeah.
I love Judy Aronson. I love Deborah Voorhees. I love Ron Sloan. Carol.
You love Troy Elke.
I love Haley Reese Greenbauer.
You love Troy Elke.
I love Andrew Leidy, Vincent Destani.
You love Troy Elke.
Jennifer Banco, Troy Elke. Troy Elke is my favorite.
You gotta say that like Richard Christie from the Howard Stern Show. Troy's my favorite.
Troy's my favorite.
He's my favorite. Before I let you go, would you mind doing a plug for my show?
Oh, Greg Gilbert at Python's Paradise now on Zoom. Thank you, Carrie, for that.
There you go. Yes, thank you, Carrie Yates. And we are celebrating 13 Fanboy. Look at this. I'm gonna be wearing this at Frightmare in the Falls.
Yes. Did you see the new poster art with them standing there holding the knife? I want that poster.
Well, I like this one because it's
If
got
you
Tracy Savage on there. There
if
we
you
go.
right, it's got the face on there. But if you go to Voodoo and look at that poster art, that's the poster I want hanging in my house. I love that poster.
What about the Troy Elke posters?
Oh, I already have that hanging in my house. It's in my closet next to the butt plugs.
We love Troy
And just
Elke.
just so you know, I don't. No.
I don't buy that. Probably got it from John Leeper. For you probably got it with a copy of Blasio Pastor, whatever that is.
I might have to actually watch that movie one of these days.
Okay.
I've seen the trailer for it. It looks very interesting.
I haven't even gone that far yet. All I remember is he's got a butt plug for a merch with that movie. I mean, it's not even a sex movie. How's there a butt plug with that?
It must be semi-sexual in some way.
I'm surprised Debbie Sue Voorhees hasn't thought 13 Fanboy butt plugs. Let's do that.
No, I don't see that happening.
You don't think Debbie Sue would go that route?
No.
You don't think she?
It doesn't even sound right in a sentence.
Nothing to do with butt plug sounds right in a sentence.
No.
Well, you know what? It was wonderful. I'm happy to have seen 13 Fanboy. I'll get the Blu-ray. I'm glad I watched it. I get, I get to put money towards it when I ordered it. So I wanted to be a team player, but we do got to get some Doubtfire challenges. Oh, come on, stars of 13 Fanboy. It's for a good cause. Jason will tell you that himself, but nonetheless, glad to have you on here. And next year I'll have you back. I'll be happy to have you back. You can talk about your latest projects. You can talk about the bitch. You gotta get that made. I love that title, man. Perfect for a werewolf movie.
It is a werewolf. It will be a werewolf movie if it's ever made, but it is looking to be made into a graphic novel. I can say at least that much. That's all I can say.
You could get Jennifer Bonko to play the werewolf.
It's funny. I actually, when I was writing her description, I actually had Banco in mind. That's the God's honest truth. I based the appearance of my werewolf in human form after Jennifer Banco.
You could have a scene where she wakes up in the morning and goes to the washroom, and there's saran wrap on the.
You know what? I spoke with Banco on the phone once, and I was explaining bitch to her, and she did say that she would actually be in it. So I think that might be why in my mind I was seeing her as my character in bitch.
Take her up on it.
You never know.
Yeah.
Never know.
And you can even have my picture in it.
Splattered in blood.
Splattered in blood.
Or torn apart with claw marks.
There you go.
Let it fit the situation.
There you go. There you go. Well, you know what? God bless you. Thank you for coming on here today or tonight, I should say. And yeah, this will be a nice long interview.
Yeah.
And you recorded it. I'm recording it. So
actually, I don't think I recorded it. It said I had to get permission from the meeting host. So
well, I'll give you permission.
I'll see it. Too late now. It's over. But I'll see it when you post it.
Why I never heard of that. I would have let you do it. I wouldn't have cared. That's all right. I'll send you
when I hit record. I just figured I'll see it when you post it.
Well, I'm going to send it to you before it ever goes public. And you know what? You can post it whenever you want to. It doesn't have to be public on mine before it goes public on yours. So feel free to post it whenever you're ready to. You got my permission.
Thank you.
And people can hear us talk all about 13 Fanboy, Troy Elke, and butt plugs. With that note, I am going to go watch Almost Famous because I got one of the cast members coming on for that tomorrow. So I got to watch that, give it a fresher. And then, yeah.
I'll go watch a little True Blood. We're on a True Blood kick.
What about not True Blood?
No, it's got to be True Blood. We're on a True Blood kick.
What if it's untrue?
Then it's blood.
There you go.
Real blood.
Well, thank you so much. I'm glad we kept in touch. And like I said, reach out anytime, man.
You got it.
All right. Take care. Glad we're connected with this movie. I'm glad to have been able to get to know you through this movie. What wonderful connections we both made through the 13 Fanboy.
It's been an honor.
Which, with that note, we got to thank Debbie Sue Voorhees on that one.
Yes.
Yes, Debbie
Yes.
Sue
Brilliant.
Voorhees.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Absolutely. God bless you. Have a wonderful night. Watch Untrue Blood.
Yes. Yes. I'm off.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye bye.